Yeah, I think I'm gonna do an intro first. Let's see, are we live? We don't know. Don't know yet. Don't worry. All right. What's good, guys? It's been a long day. It's been pretty chill, actually. I take that back. Not a long day. What's up, the glitch rabbit, Mia gamer, sneaky, drip coffee cookies, smoutsy. What's good, everybody? We'll just relax and chill, because right now we're about to go into something quite evil, right? We're going to go into something quite sinister and devious, if you will, right? So, what's up, Metal Man? You see, I have like a whole docket of stuff to go through for this stream, but yeah, no. So, around the time, Gooseworx was kind of like on the chopping block last time I looked at it. What's up, Nobby? What's up, Lilix? But just as a refresher, just in case if any of you forgot what happened, there was a whole situation that happened with Ashley Nichols and Michael Kovac, which people dug up things from 7 years ago, tried to frame them as saying negative but shortened as a racist thing, and it really wasn't. It was a huge reach. And it was also insane that people would dig up things from 7 years ago and try to advocate for recasting when the last episode is now going to be out in a couple days in theaters, which I'm definitely going to get tickets for to see, despite, some things that happened. But, as you can see, right, very stupid stuff that we start into. But because of that, that was also part of the reason why I made the Sean Chiplock thread, because people were trying to relitigate Sean Chiplock, aka Kinger's VA, being a groomer, which obviously that's false. It's wrong. But despite that, there was one more person that they wanted to look into, and that was who better than the creator of the show, right? So let's just kind of open this up, right? So during the whole controversy, we had some stuff. Let me get some music for you guys. Some nice chill jazz. Okay. Just so you guys can enjoy this vibe with me. Okay. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the vibe. I see Metal Man remembers, as you can see. But thank you for the two. Nega Ace. Yeah, short for negative. Now, let's get into this stuff, shall we? I keep seeing annoying people on Twitter hate on Gooseworx. True. Congratulations on being gay. I'm not gay, and I'm homophobic, so fuck you. But yeah, what's up, Pi? What's up, everybody? But yeah, let's get into this. Thread. Interesting tweets from Gooseworx. One of these is a bit of a nothing burger, but I figured I'd include it anyways, given recent events. Gooseworx. Oh, wait, hold up. Thank you for the 5, Sneaky. Discord Assassin Hitman moment. We'll probably get into that one in another stream. But let's get into this one. If I were to make a tweet about Shadman, it would be way more direct and way more edgier, like something like, who's going to fill the shoes Shadman left empty? I'm not going to enjoy it, but I guess it's got to be me. Something like that, I think. Clearly, an edgy joke. Right? Now, granted, let me just riz, just in case anyone wants to join. But granted, right, Shadman obviously did some horrendous things. There's actually some pretty good, decent Turkey Tongue coverage on this. But, actually, you know what? Fuck anyone else who wants to join. Fuck you. But yeah, no, Turkey Tom actually made some pretty solid videos, I would have to say. He's so brave. Wow. Insane. But, Shadman has done the following, made sexual art of Daphne Keem, a real 12-year-old actress. DMs leaked of them having a crush on them and calling them their Lolita. They got arrested for domestic assault. I think it was like a assault and battery or whatever the fuck, because Kiwi Farms had like court documents leak. And they only stopped doing the sexualized drawings of Lolly and real kids being sexualized in drawings, not because they had a change of heart, but because they realized it would be bad for business. So, Yeah. Insanely, just comically evil guy. Absolutely comically evil. But yeah. Anyways. But then, we're going to go into more of this. But yeah, clearly edgy joke. I don't really care. But let's go. Why do so many DIU screenshots redraws make Josuke black? He's half Japanese, half British. That's not black. Sure it is, you white cis scum. 9516. What the fuck does this mean? 2016? Okay, you highlighted that this is an old tweet. I don't care about this, man. I really don't. Just a general curiosity, when you're with super close friends who know you well, do you make horrible edgy jokes that you would never think of making in public or around anyone who wouldn't know what you're joking? Yeah, baby. 2,000 votes, by the way, and over half of them are saying yes. Goose, is this something we should be worried about? Because a lot of artists are being revealed to make very racist jokes behind the scenes, and this is kind of making me nervous. Okay. I'm not gonna lie and pretend I don't make super... I'm not gonna lie and pretend I don't make super edgy jokes around close friends. I think absurd, shocking stuff is funny, but I get why people don't like it or get the humor in it, which is why I'd never make and then it just cuts it off. Okay, they make edgy jokes. Congratulations. Congratulations. I think the only thing here is her interacting with a 17-year-old with sexual jokes after knowing they're 17. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. But let's keep going. What does it say about me if all my tweet drafts are just really, really edgy jokes that would probably lose me any professional position I currently have? Yeah, you're edgy. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, so you should all know I hate talking about political stuff, but I've been seeing an uncomfortable amount of people saying really upsetting things about Russians in general. They're real people. They're not all just like Putin's minions. Don't take out your rage on them. Okay? Maybe I'm biased because I have several Russian friends, but I'm uncomfortable seeing so many hugely generalized statements like that. I will now go back to tweeting about nonsense in the art. Sorry about this. Are we really just going to slam dunk on her for saying treat Russian citizens like people? Okay. Good one. Absolute fucking banger. You're humanizing a villainous country. Nah, you're putting group guilt on an individual. Dude, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. This is literally the only thing she said about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. By the who cares? Who actually cares, bro? Why? Why am I supposed to care? So, yeah, she didn't really make a real take on this situation besides saying, hey, can you stop, like, dehumanizing people that she, also happens to have some sympathy towards because she has Russian friends? Yeah, great stuff, dude. Great fucking stuff. Really doing some great stuff here. I swear I get hooked by Roadhog so much only that when playing Lucio. Why do Roadhogs single out Lucios like that? Is it because he's black? Lol? Russians are real? Yeah, I know, it's shocking, Sneaky. It is. She's right in that tweet. This is so stupid. Yeah. Yeah. Dude. This is so evil. Step 1, the KKK. Step 2, racism. Step 3, the Prophet. Oh. Cards Against Humanity. True? Okay. Is there anything else, dude? But I thought I already told you I'm racist. We know. Okay. Why do so many of my friends have handy screen caps of me saying that I'm racist? I just never know when I'll need it, Great stuff. Agree with something on the conservative side? You're a racist, homophobic, sexist idiot. Yeah? Okay. Again, who cares about these tweets, actually? No one should care about these. Honestly, no one should actually give a fuck about these. This is dumb. It's weird how being racist has not much to do with hating other races anymore. I mean, this is just kind of ironic that people would mock her for this, considering the reason why people try to get people recasted was because they said the word negative shortened. I think that's like the best. You actually proved your point here. You actually proved your point. Okay, is there anything else? Hitler's persona was a Nazi before it was edgy. Okay, dude. What? Wait, I get it. Lol. Man, that Hitler was such a goon. Yeah? Okay, so you should all know... Yeah, and then it's the Russian friend thing again. Is incest really that funny? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I thought they were bros because incest is wincest. You know, when you find an artist who draw really good art of characters you love, but then you see they also draw a lot of incest stuff, that's not even a joke. They just... Okay. If I wrote Harry Potter, I'd make it pretty much exactly the same, but Hagrid is always trying to debate people about incest. Okay. 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 Raggedy Ann and Andy chilling on a couch 5 feet apart because they're brother and sister. That'd be incest. Dog. Okay, like, who actually... Or is it really that funny? There was like 2 to 3 jokes out of these that were actually jokes. Who cares? Who cares? And then it's the Russian take again. True! Yeah, dude, oh, this person's crashing out. Oh, motherfuckers, would I shit on their favorite racist? Yeah, okay, yeah, you really won with that. Dude, there was nothing here. You said one of these is a bit of a nothing burger. Replace that to all of these are a nothing burger. This was stupid. This was actually dumb. Alright, that was the end of stream. I'm kidding. I'm gonna be... No, thank you, Sneaky, for the 5. I'm gonna be honest, this sounds like some shit we would say in the server. It's just a nothing burger, Lamau. Yeah, it's genuinely just edgy jokes. Who cares? Dog. There's no way. Really? Okay. Thank you, OBS. Always reliable. Oh, so reliable, OBS. Ugh. But anyways. Ugh. We're just gonna go into here. Right? I think I'm back. I don't even know. Did I actually ever get cut off? I'm not really too sure. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, just an edgelord who cares. Just gonna check my mic settings. That was really left field. But yeah, then there was something else, right? We're gonna watch something. Okay? Now, you guys might be familiar with Pink King. Okay? That's why I specifically chose this video. I've covered some media reviewer stuff a lot. This guy had beef with Blackish, kind of like backed out and, you know, bent the knee and fumbled. It was kind of really fucking embarrassing. But he talks about something I want to go over, right? I want to talk about this because someone ended up leaking episode 9. I'm pretty sure that there was like a dubbing or subbing in Brazil, and those leaked with subtitles on Twitter. They were going all over the place. And I only saw that there was like 14 minutes of audio that just kept being taken down repeatedly. Lol. Yeah, so let's look at this person. All right, let's look what this person has to offer. Okay, let's see this stuff. But you see, shows leaking. As much as I don't like that it happens, right? It does kind of happen quite a bit, more than I would like to say that it does. But especially with indie animations, this is going to kind of be like one of those things that it just kind of becomes inevitable. Like, there's not really much you can do sometimes, if I'm going to be honest. Like, it's a bit bleak. It's a bit unfortunate. But it's not good. It's not great either. But... Fuck. But yeah. Yeah, it's a thing that sometimes unfortunately happens. But I think still people were, like, jumping the gun on how Gooseworx reacted to this. So, let's look at this. Alright, let's take a little peek-sees.
Oh no.
Hold on. I probably should turn this off for a second, turn this up. Alright, here we go. Here we go.
It actually happened. Alright peeps, so as some of you might have already heard, episode 9 of the Amazing Digital Circus, aka The Last Act, has unfortunately been leaked online in its entirety, and this is causing a lot of backlash in ways that honestly does quite baffle me, and I'll get into exactly why in a moment, but rest assured that there will be no spoilers or leaks featured in this video, as I haven't seen them, nor am I even looking for them. So rest assured that you won't be spoiled while watching this video. But what the hell happened? Well, the story goes that apparently as the film's been getting dubbed and approved in other countries where it's going to be released, it seems that a supposed hacker of sorts managed to get their hands on the Brazilian dub of the movie, with them selling it to people online for $1,000 each. Now, while I haven't seen any of the footage that this person supposedly had for myself, so I can't really confirm or deny if this claim is even real or not, a lot of reliable sources, however, did supposedly receive some footage and were able to confirm that, yes, this does indeed seem to be somewhat real, and others who received the movie have already started spreading clips about it online in spaces like Twitter and YouTube. And while Glitch have been working hard to take them down, people are inevitably going to see it, and already—
Yeah, people were saving this shit on, like, Google Drives and stuff like that. Like, look, I get that everyone was kind of, like, feeling anxious, but I'm pretty sure this happened, like, a week before it was going to drop in theaters anyways. Play Jack's Toy? Maybe later. Maybe later for, like, the later segment I plan on going through. But, yeah, because I'm going to talk about the Jake Neutron stuff at the end of the stream, just because it feels like it would fit more. But, yeah, fuck me.
Can I just say that I feel so bad for not only Glitch, but Gooseworx as well right now. I know she put out a post saying that she doesn't really care, but I can assure you—
Yeah, so, Goose, I've seen this on Twitter, that they're leaking the movie. I don't know if it's real. I haven't seen what that looks like even are, so what the leaks even are, but I'm going to guess probably not. Goose, I think they're real. They're getting copyrighted. Who cares? Because of this reply right here, this has started the domino effect to look into every single thing of her digital footprint. Allegations from 5 years ago being relitigated to call her a groomer defender. People talking about an instance with her having inappropriate jokes with a 17-year-old on Twitter, right? Got relitigated. And then, like, other people were getting backlash for not calling her a racist. More edgy tweets. This has started the domino effect. Okay? This is where it starts to get a bit cooked. Okay? Everything from this point on.
right now, they are probably absolutely fuming at the situation, especially given just how much they've had to sacrifice in order to try and avoid a situation like this from happening in the first place. As for those of you who don't know, Glitch were trying to put the last act in as many theaters as possible around the world. However, they did unfortunately have to pull out of certain regions due to concerns that when it came to the, age rating and verification of the movie, that it might have accidentally gotten leaked. Because different regions require different methods, and with a lot of methods in these places, it's very easy for them to get hacked. That's sort of what I assume happened with places like South Korea, for example. The methods that they use could have resulted in the movie being easily hacked and leaked online. That's often how movies like this do get leaked in the first place, and that's probably what happened here with the Portuguese dub of the movie. Now, what do I think of the situation? Well, I think it's an absolute disgrace. Not only the fact that the movie got leaked in the first place, but also where a lot of this backlash has been going. First of all, spoilers are going to be absolutely rampant everywhere because, it's the internet, man. People love to talk. And so my advice to those of you like me who don't want to be spoiled, want to avoid them like the plague, I recommend trying to avoid anything Glitch related as much as you can. If you see videos or posts talking about Glitch or the Amazing Digital Circus, then be sure to either avoid it or say that you're not interested in them. And if you can't help yourself, then the best chance you have for not being spoiled is literally just delete social media. Get off social media as much as you can until you actually see the movie for yourself. Stuff like TikTok, Instagram, and especially Twitter, because all of these places will be trying to spoil the last act for you. They are quite notorious for leaks. They spread like wildfire, and the worst part is they are so hard to manage. That's why they are so rampant on places like that.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, right? Because some people are even saying like a whole hour leaked. I'm gonna be honest, right? If you really want to avoid leaks, you don't accidentally just watch an hour. Okay? I'm gonna sit here and tell you this, right? You don't just accidentally watch an hour. You know how easy it is just to scroll by and ignore it? Okay? This is a little gay. It's like, well, if you can't avoid it, just delete social media and then you won't have to see the leaks. You don't accidentally go, whoops, an hour of content just like slipped by my eyes. You have to make the cautious decision to actually sit there and watch it. Okay? Just don't watch it. if you don't want to get spoiled, you're a grown adult, just don't watch it. It's not that hard. Okay? It's really not that hard. Dude, that's that's so dumb. But here's the scroll button doesn't exist. You swipe. You swipe. You just swipe. My demons are controlling me to watch. True. But yeah, also people talking about the screenshots. Yeah, you read 2 lines, realize it's about Digital Circus. Like two words actually. It's like, oh, this is about Digital Circus. Yeah, I'm gonna scroll by. See ya. Bye. Yeah, it's that easy. It's that easy, bro. Dude, that's so dumb. That's so dumb. Sweep? No, it's not sweeping. It's just common fucking sense. Look, because I'm guilty of it too. I watched like a 14-minute thing of leaks. And you know what? Some of my theories that I always had about what was going to happen in the show were validated. But I'm not going to pretend like, oh, the 14 minutes sat me at gunpoint. Dude, I don't know what to do, man. No. I sat there because I was fucking curious. I was wondering if my theories would be validated. But I'm not going to sit here and bitch being like, oh, these people forced me to watch it. That's gay. That's stupid. I made the conscious decision to be like, what the hell? I'm kind of curious. Let's see what's happening. But if you're going to sit there and be like, what the fuck, man? Really? You like forced me to watch this. These leaks forced me to No, you did it. You did it. Okay? You watched it. Okay? You made the choice. Why are you spamming ducks or birds? I don't... Lol? Lol?
YouTube should be safe, however, they are quite strict when it comes to their copyright, so if you want to stay on the internet somewhat, then YouTube is probably your best bet, but that still doesn't mean you shouldn't be careful. There are always going to be those one-off videos that might slip through the cracks, so always try and avoid anything glitch or Digital Circus related until you actually see the movie for yourself. The fact that I even have to say that alone is insane to me. This was supposed to be a huge, one-of-a-kind moment, and for so many people now to have that moment ruined is just so devastating. And all for what? Because some dickheads on the internet have no self-control and decided to piss everyone off. It really makes me angry, this. But not only that, another thing that's really been frustrating to me was seeing how people were trying to sort of pin this blame on Glitch themselves. Now, is Glitch perfect? No. There are absolutely things you can criticize them for, like when it came to them pulling out of certain regions for the movie, the way they went about it by not giving concrete answers and sort of ghosting certain distributors and cinemas was pretty scummy, I won't lie. I think that not even giving certain cinemas a reason is bad enough. Plus, also, their silence on the situation as a whole is rather concerning, given how, since the situation unfolded, they haven't really said anything, and they do definitely need to give a statement on this situation in some form or another soon. You know,
they definitely need to give a statement on the situation? What would they even say? Oh, guys, stop leaking. That was really mean. You know what's going to happen? They're going to say, hey, I don't really appreciate the leaks. That a lot of hard work went into this. They're just going to be spammed with people. Like, just spamming the leaks under it. And there's going to be a bunch of hidden replies. Look, I mean, the episode leaked. These things kind of happen. Do you expect them to pull out of theaters? Because it's like some people who just didn't have any basic self-fucking control couldn't stop themselves from watching a free clip. I don't know what to say, man. Like, that's dumb. That's dumb. Like, I don't know exactly what you expect them to say. Like, oh, I'm ashamed. I'm really ashamed by the person or the multiple people that would spread around these hard work that, like, hours and money went into. I mean, I guess they could. That'd be completely PR. But like, that's just dumb. I don't care if they respond or not. This stuff kind of just happens. I don't expect everyone to respond if like a thing gets leaked from a show. Like, The Boys ending was getting leaked because people were watching it from like movie theaters. Do you think The Boys or Amazon or whatever made a statement being like, we're just really disappointed that people are leaking this show before it's like ever in like theaters, before it's like even out for public consumption on our streaming platforms? It's kind of fucked up, dude. No, they didn't do that. But this is dumb. Dumb.
Just try and help reassure the fans who helped to make this movie possible in the first place that they still will get the movie at an orderly rate. Literally, anything will be better than nothing that we currently have, because as of the time I'm recording this video, there has been no official statement by Glitch in regards to this. So yes, Glitch definitely have a lot you can criticize them for, but to put the blame on them for this leak happening, especially given just how much they tried to avoid stuff like this, is just ludicrous to me. The reason they have been very careful with where they released this movie in the first place was because they were trying to avoid leaks. So while I definitely feel like the way they pulled out certain cinemas on such short notice was scummy, I do also understand why they felt like they had to do it. After all, they put so much work into making what essentially the impossible happened by putting an indie animated movie into theaters that of course they're going to want to make sure it doesn't get leaked and make sure it has the best chance possible. So for people to throw blame at them for this situation is just disgusting in my opinion. Yes, they are a company, but they're not like some big conglomerate like Disney who have millions of other projects and profits to fall back on if something fails. Glitch is still a small studio that is taking a very big risk here, a risk that isn't guaranteed to be successful and will now have an even worse chance than it did before, with the movie being leaked before its intended release by a couple of weeks. Like, I can't emphasize it enough, just how much of a disaster this truly is. Because of this one leak alone, Glitch could potentially see somewhat of a 25% or higher drop in ticket sales, as many people have already refunded their tickets due to this situation. I genuinely believe that the Glitch fanbase might actually be one of the most entitled fan bases ever, not only for this situation, but even stuff like the Gameoverse that came out not too long ago, and how people were so quick to just call the show misogynistic against women, even though all it does is just have like two conventionally attractive characters. This fanbase demands so much despite not appreciating everything that they do have. Like this film being in theaters for 2 weeks beforehand, people cried and moaned about that, but it was realistically the best result Glitch tried to get. They did try to get the theater exclusivity down to as much as they could, but 2 weeks was the best that they could do, because, you know, that's up to the theaters to decide how long they have a movie be featured for, you know, because they need to make a profit in this as well. So to act like they intentionally did this to screw over certain fans with spoilers is, again, the most entitled shit I've ever heard. Like, you wanted this to be in theaters, now you're complaining about it. Pick a lane. This is what happens when you put something in theaters. There's going to be exclusivity. And I tell you what, some of you people don't even really deserve Glitch if you're gonna act like this. I'm gonna be so real about that. But with all that being said, what does this mean for my coverage of the movie when it releases? Well, I'm going to be sticking to my guns and releasing 2 separate reviews each, one spoiler-free one and one spoiler one. That way, people who have both seen the movie and haven't seen it yet will be able to see what I think about it, whether or not it will live up to the hype. So in terms of my coverage for the movie...
Yeah, I don't really care. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, whatever. But great stuff, Pink King. Yeah, great stuff. I mean, yeah, so it leaked. So we're going to go into the reason why we had to highlight this, the edginess, the leaking, and that domino effect. We're going to look into some of the allegations, right? So this is like the 17-year-old stuff. Okay. Let's take a look-see at this. Okay, let's take a little bit of a peek. I've seen nobody talking about this yet, but there are receipts of Gooseworx making inappropriate jokes to a minor. Now it's starting to get a bit spicy. Okay, now I'm curious. Okay. Let's see this.
I made this Tumblr thread right as I was about to go to sleep, so I read through it and I thought, I have to be misreading this. Maybe it'll make more sense in the morning.
More disturbing Gooseworx tweets.
Nope, it's still the same. So this is allegedly a thread of Gooseworx being inappropriate with a minor when it comes to sexual art. I want to clarify before I get into any of this, because I know how people are. This has nothing to do with Goose being a trans woman. Transphobic sycophants love to see a trans person, especially a woman, being problematic and immediately jump onto it as if it's an indicator that all trans people are an issue.
Why even mention it? Why even draw attention to that fact? Like, no, it's like, let me talk about them being appropriate with a minor, but first, please don't make this a trans thing, I beg you. I mean, come on, bro. Can you imagine if we did this in news coverage, right? It's like, now, before I covered this bank robbery thing, this 7-Eleven robbery, I'm not saying this, all right? I'm not saying this just because the robber's black. Please, all right? Don't get on my case, okay? You guys are just really weird. You just want to see a minority be knocked out. What the fuck is the point of that? Like, what the fuck is the point of that disclaimer? Just talk about the allegations as it is. It actually sounds weirder when you make that disclaimer, because, like, no one was thinking it. No one was thinking it. Genuinely. It's like, what the fuck? But yeah. How old was Goose during this? I think mid-20s. Fucking Slot Meal made a video on this already. Yeah. I'm sure he did. What is Cupidite Light even yapping about? True. Thanks for the 2. Dude. Fuck me.
As if cis women aren't perfectly capable of also being problematic in that manner. So just shut up.
Stop making this a gender thing, bro.
So the tweets started off with this person called Adamas making sexual fan art of one of Gooseworx.
Someone need to redraw a Higo alien for Gooseworx music, so I did it.
Characters. To which she replies she feels conflicted.
Okay. I feel conflicted about retweeting this. Dude, I feel conflicted about even drawing it. Lol?
About reblogging it. Now, I don't know if that's indicating she knows the person is 17 at the time and that's why she feels conflicted.
Whoa, what the
Now
fuck?
that disclaimer's out the way, let's read these tweets. So the tweets start off with this person called Adamas making sexual fan art of one of Gooseworx characters, to which she replies she feels conflicted about reblogging it. Now, I don't know if that's indicating she knows the person is 17 at the time and that's...
What? What a fucking speculation. What the hell? I don't know. Is it possible that maybe because, like you said, it was like suggestive artwork of her own character, conflicted about retweeting it, maybe comes from the fact that it's suggestive art of her character? What kind of fucking leap was it to say, yeah, maybe she just knows they're 17? Dude, what the fuck? What are you, what the fuck? What are you on about?
She feels conflicted about reblogging it. Now, I don't know
What?
that's indicating she knows the person is 17 at the time and that's why she feels conflicted, or it's referring to something else. Oh yeah, clarification, this person is 17.
Yeah. Okay. That's not evidence of her knowing it. Yeah, I mean, she probably felt conflicted about reposting art that was suggestive of her character. That's a hell of a reach. Hey, it's already March. How did I notice it? How did I not notice it? It means that I'm going to turn 18 on March 28th. Okay.
17, Gooseworx is 26. But
26. Did she know? Do we have evidence of her knowing?
let's say she didn't and just chalk it up to irresponsibility, right? There's another interaction these two have where Gooseworx
Okay.
initiates a sexual joke this time, joking about cum.
Really? You really like jars, don't you? Cum jar references will always make me laugh. Okay. And just to be clear,
Say she did it. Person is to which this person called Adamas making sexual fan art.
Just
of one of
making
Gooseworx
sure,
characters,
because
to which she
this is a little
replies she feels
scuffed.
conflicted about reblogging it. Now I don't
wait, hold on. August
know
4th.
if that's indicating she knows the person is 17 at the time and that's why she feels conflicted, or it's referring to something else. Oh yeah, clarification. This person is
March? March 28th. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. 2021. March 3rd. Last I checked, August came after March. Are we serious?
Shut up. Now that disclaimer's out the way, let's read these tweets.
Are we?
So
No,
the
wait
tweets start off with this person called
a momento. Yeah, last I checked, August came after March. Okay, so that would mean he's 18 right here. So that only goes to further proof that she didn't feel conflicted because they were a minor. They would have been 18. What the fuck? What are you on about? What are you on about? Wait, hold on. 2021. Okay, to be fair, this is 2020. Okay. Making sure with the dates. So they would be 17 here. Okay. 17. About to say, this is really scuffed with timeline. But yes, they turn 18 in 2021. Okay. Glad we cleared that up. So they're 17 here. They feel conflicted because it's suggestive art. There's nothing to suggest that they even know their age, let alone this. But let's keep going. Because then they say that they turn 18 in March 2021. Okay, we're on the same page. You say where Gooseworx initiates it. Okay, they initiated a month before they turned 18. Okay, so is this a dirty joke? Sure. Would I ever encourage this joke? No. You probably should not make this joke. But there's still no evidence, and I will stand by this, no evidence to suggest that she knows this person's age. Nothing. And this is a public platform that it seems like there's only these public interactions. So there's nothing to indicate that they would even have conversations this so far. Okay. Let's keep going.
Cum jars. Again, this happens before we can confirm whether or not Gooseworx knows how old this person is, but still, just be more.
Whoa, what?
It's a sexual joke this time, joking about cum jars. Again, this happens before we can confirm whether or not Gooseworx knows how old this person is, but still.
Then what? So we don't even have a confirmation yet? Why are we throwing over such heavy things so far? These are such leaps in logic. First, you speculated that she thought that they knew that they're 18 when it was that they knew that they're 17, when it was obvious to suggest that it was because it was suggestive that they were considering like iffy on reposting it. And now we have this where they're a month away from 18, right? We don't have any evidence that Gooseworx even knows that. They make a joke. Okay? Look, I could be on the train of saying, yeah, reckless to make a joke without making sure that you know how old they are. Sure. I could be on that train. I could easily all aboard chugga chugga choo choo on that train all day. Where I don't like where this is going is you're taking that interaction and it seems like we're jumping the gun on heavy labels so far. I don't like that. Okay? I don't like that. Yeah. But here we go.
Just be more responsible. Anyways, about a month after that, the guy makes a post about soon turning 18.
Okay, soon turning 18. Sure.
In which Goose is like, oh my god, how are you all so young? Just be more
Okay, hold
responsible.
on.
Anyways, about a month after that, the guy makes a post about soon.
A, it's already March. How did I not notice? It means that I'm going to turn 18 on March 18th. I'm 18 on March 28th. It's not like something will change besides the fact that I'm going to turn into an adult loser instead of being an underage loser.
Turning 18, in which Goose is like, oh my...
How are you all so young? So, I think this is an indicator, okay? This is an indicator that they didn't know the age. Okay? How are you all so young? They didn't know the age. So everything you just threw out here, that means that they said that without knowing the age. Again, I could be on the reckless train all day. Okay? Chugga chugga choo choo. Let's ride that train. Okay? Problem, you literally have evidence to suggest that they didn't know the age before. And we're still speculating on that. You speculated that she did know. What is this, bro? Dude. Question, does anyone normally check... normally check how only someone is on big Twitter? To be honest, I forget minors are on that platform because of how much of a cesspit it is. I don't know. It seems like a lot of people get fucked by this. But yes. We're gonna see if there's anything else after this, knowing the age. We'll see. We'll see.
God, how are you all so young? So that does lead me to believe she didn't know their age. But this is
But you speculated that she did.
good, right? Everything can be cleared up now and Goose can stop interacting with this person, at least in sexual context. Nope. Not only do they proceed to keep contact, up until very recently, Goose...
Okay, March 21st, the next generation. You achieved being divisible by 11. That's kind of hilarious. Frog meme.
still continues to engage with...
No, wait. So now this is well after they're 18. What about that time when I drew Elian having an orgasm because of the heat? I have that picture saved in my special folder. I mean, not great, but now they're engaging with an 18-year-old. So now they're engaging with an adult on Twitter. I can't really care.
Sexual jokes at this person who's almost a decade younger.
Okay. Almost not child-appropriate joke all the time. Again, well after they're 18 now. Starting characters by our amazing Lord and Savior, Gooseworx, and voiced by Dave Capout, okay, who did a great job at acting like a human being. And then Gooseworx says, you and your insidious subversions. Okay, decade younger, dog. 18, 26. They're both adults on Twitter. I don't really care. I don't care, man.
Than her is making. And the crazy part is, to some extent, Goose knows that this is wrong. This person asked for access to her...
It's not really NSFW, it's a bunch of weird TF stuff. I doubt normal people would like it. May I see it?
account, and she says no because they're...
You're too young to see my mistakes. Okay, I don't care. Thank you for the 5. So basically, Cupidite got everything wrong and is just making assumptions about someone. Got it. That's kind of just that's just kind of like how it's coming off to me. How often do they talk? Rose, that's not even really well painted. I'm going off of the receipts that they have here. Yeah, I would probably say, yeah, reckless, you should check the age if you're going to make comments like that. Sure, but I could fully buy the fact that people don't autistically check ages of people all the time when they reply to someone on Twitter. It's that, again, like I said, reckless, irresponsible. I could be on that train all day. But when you say heavier labels, you're insinuating something more sinister of Gooseworx. And it's just you don't have proof for that. And I'm sorry, them continuing to engage with them when they're 18 with the jokes or just normal comments is not the own that you think it is for a heavy label. It's really not. Okay? That is not going to match any label. Alright? But yeah. Let's keep going.
Too young. So you know it's bad, but you're still interacting whenever they post sexual fan art of your characters. Now, I'm not gonna call this pedophilia or grooming.
Dog. You're insinuating it for other people could do it. This is dumb. And if you know something's bad, they just said that they didn't want them to see their NSFW account. Dog. That doesn't necessarily mean that they think giving a grown adult access to an NSFW account is bad. It just means that they're embarrassed by what they drew and don't want to show it. Again, leaps of logic of assumptions here. Just huge, massive leaps. This is dumb. This is dumb. This should have been proofread before just like thrown out here with these insane insinuations. But what are you going to call it? What are you going to call it? If you call it reckless and dumb, sure, the insinuations go to the labels that you're saying you're not calling it, which is just really dumb. But here, let's go.
But it is concerning.
Concerning? Really? It's concerning. Really. So, this is code word in this community that they actually do think it's these labels. They're just not confident enough to say it because they're afraid of getting sued or they're afraid of getting backlash for misinformation. Concerning is yeah, that's their code word. Again, you're going to see this a lot more when I cover these VA people. If they don't want to give it a heavy label, they'll just say this is concerning or worrying or alarming. And then you ask, why is it? I'm going to see if she explains it. We'll see. Usually they won't. But if she does, fair enough, and then we'll engage with the conversation.
Someone who's pushing 30 needs to understand that there has to be boundaries when talking to significantly younger people online.
Really? Oh, dude. How would you feel about a 30 and a 20-year-old dating? Just out of curiosity. Would you think that that's also concerning? Because we're not even talking about dating, but that would be something I would say more intimate and more extreme than, two adults interacting on Twitter about NSFW art. Dude. This is so dumb. Pushing 30 is 26. I mean, it kind of is, but I'm not gonna be that guy. Dude, it's a TikTok, dude. What research? True.
Especially if you're talking to them when they're a minor. Even if the minor is the one who initiated sexual contact, block them, move on.
Again, framing it like that makes it seem like they knew they were a minor, which you have no evidence for, and more evidence to suggest that they didn't. Block them, move on. They're 18 at that point. I can't care, bro. I really can't. Dude. Bro. Bro.
Don't respond. There was also a separate instance where Gooseworx defended someone.
Okay, let's open up this can of worms.
Called Exploshi, who
Exploshi. Oh my god, you guys are gonna love the Exploshi stuff because of how dumb it gets. Okay, because Exploshi is, I'm gonna say this right now, is not a groomer or not a pedophile, but that was being passed around on Twitter like it was, and it's not.
How do I say this? Has a 15-minute long compilation on YouTube of all the times they were sexual towards someone who had just turned 14. For context, Exploshi was 17 going on 18 at the time, and Goose was like, well, they're a good person, and it's... So
let's read this. Exploshi's a good egg. If you're taking any of this call-out bullshit seriously, you might be a little dumb. I don't think you're supposed to talk to a minor in a sexual manner, though, especially since he was aware of that beforehand. They're both minors. She was also a minor at the time. Like, come on, you guys. Didn't know their pronouns, so that's an error on my fault. They may not be a groomer, but it's incredibly inappropriate for a 17-year-old to talk that way to a 14-year-old. 3-year age gap. High school context wraps it up, throws it away. No, dude, it's dumb. These are two minors who are being... See, actually, something that gets left out in this, right, is that they weren't even dating. Okay, they weren't even dating. We're gonna get through that. That's a 5-year-old situation that's now being relitigated to try to call Gooseworx a groomer defender. But yeah. But this is dumb.
Fine, because they're both minors. Say it with me now. Inappropriate maturity gaps still exist between minors.
Yeah, it would. If it was actually a huge age gap. look, I get the 3-year age gaps. It's going to be different between two people under 18 because, I mean, you're practically maturing all the way up to 25 at least, or 27, depending on how it goes for you, right? But the problem is, the problem is, these two people could be friendly, and I say it as a joke, but the reason why high school setting gets brought up into this is because people try to make the argument that like the 17 and 14 would literally have nothing in common, when that would be a freshman and a junior. And honestly, a freshman and a junior can hang out in after-school clubs. They can hang out like after school just as friends. They could hang out like, in sports, band, whatever the fuck, right? You name it. Saying that nothing in common is just kind of laughable. And when you start to get into like this whole argument of age gaps and maturity, it's like, it's kind of reaching because, yes, do you think that you could say that there was inappropriate stuff between these two? And trust me, I don't love that it happens, right? I don't love that it happens. I wouldn't necessarily encourage it. But to act like it's not normal and happens in an everyday setting, in a school setting, would also be disingenuous. Because then you're giving me the ultimatum that either either I have my take and say, well, no, I don't think anyone's guilty here, right? I don't think anyone's evil here. But then we're going to have to go with your take and say, well, this person's pretty concerning. This person's pretty evil. I'm not going to call the person a pedophile. I'm not going to call the person a groomer. Okay. A-Space, did the 14-year-old made the accusation, or... I don't even think so, actually. But, no, we're going to look at it, though. Hey, Ace, did you hear about how Funky Frogbait got dragged into this because she didn't agree that Gooseworx was racist? I'm glad you mentioned that, because we're going to go after that over the Exploshi stuff. I really try to, grab everything. But yeah. Yeah.
So again, whilst I wouldn't outright call it pedophilia or grooming, this is some of the most disturbing stuff I have seen.
Disturbing stuff. This person's afraid of actually giving a label and take. Because they're trying to make something out of something that they shouldn't. Okay.
Come out of Gooseworx this past yet. And honestly, it's not even that long ago. 2021, 2022. Honestly, the more...
Yeah. 4 to 5 years ago? Not that long ago. Fuck you.
Stuff that comes out about these creators, unless it starts to feel like indie animation is about pioneering the underdogs and more about a bunch of awful Newgrounds kids giving each other jobs because they know they'll never be able to pass a background check in a mainstream job.
This is dumb. This was fucking dumb. I felt rage baited. I'm gonna come in here, dude, because we're gonna get into the Exploshi stuff. That was bleak. If Yen wants to hop on, even though she won't, because she's scared and a pussy. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna stay in here just in case anyone else wants to. Sorry, I was just checking messages. Sorry, guys. We're gonna keep going. Yeah, no way. They're John K. Wait, then who? We're gonna get into Exploshi. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Actually, you know what? Fuck them. Fuck this Sam guy. Okay. Yesterday, Exploshi suddenly faced accusations in a Twitter thread by an anonymous Twitter user named Explosed. Fuck. They got explosed. Actually, I'm just gonna mute this video. Easy. There's literally no talking in it. Exploshi's inappropriate involvement with minors on Discord, a thread. Yeah. Exploshi. 17. First exchanges with the main victim, known as V14, in April 2017, private Discord server. Conversation quickly turned into weird Exploshi calling him pet names like Twink. Okay. Important to note, Exploshi is in a separate romantic relationship through all of this. Okay? Let's get into it. A typo was made. This was 2020, not 2017. April 2020, not April 2017. Nice one. Yes, how old are you? 17. What about you? 14. Wow. Huh. Already starting off crazy. Me too. Oh, hey. We could be femboy together. 2 femboys with the same name. How did this happen? What, were they both named Exploshi? Lol. God, we're way too fucking similar. I swear, next you'll be telling me you love Animal Crossing. My friend, several emojis. Dude, this is damning. Dog. Okay. And we censored the minors OC, I suppose. Well, they're both minors, but you know what I mean. Can I ask you a favor? Of course. Instead of giving me funny poopy, can you instead give me more emphasis on the hips? I want to be flat but curvy and real. Oh, of course. Okay. Ah, look at the little man go. Fuck. I made you talky. Thick. Give me a sec. Let me fux it. Fux? You want to fux me? At some point, but no, I mean fix Lamau. Yeah. 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 Anyways, I'm gonna go back to Summer Void for real. Yeah. So, if not the 14-year-old, then who is it? I'm gonna imagine the 14-year-old probably went to someone, but they don't make that part clear. But realistically, the 14-year-old probably did go to someone. If I had to be real, right? That would be my guess. But yeah. Because they're censored here, right? Angry Goblin. Boobs! I've never been drawn with boobs before. This is gonna confuse people so much. OMG! Uh-oh. Hot though. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. La-da-da-da. Ah, you're tiny. Yeah. I will fucking pat you. I will fucking, take that pat like a man. No, you will moan like a sissy femboy bitch. They're just socks. They're not gay, I swear. Okay. Yeah, of course. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm the biggest fucking femboy ever, and I hate that I am. I mean, feet? What? What the fuck? What the fuck was the feet for? Look. Yeah, look at these 2 minors, the horror. There's gonna be some jokes in here, Rose, right? Does it get worse? Yeah, there's gonna be some jokes that are inappropriate, right? I'm not gonna lie. It's 2 femboys engaging with each other, but the important thing to mention is that there's a 3-year age gap between 2 minors. Alright? To give it any other label is just disingenuous. Me, friend, I need like an hour of sleep left. I woke up too early out of like being excited to see you. 7, you did? That's so cute. What the fuck? I'm not cute. I am manly. Your muscles, wow. They're like a sack full of basketballs. Okay. Okay. And again, they're not dating. They're just they're friends. Okay, bro, I'm gonna have a shower. See you in a few minutes. You go do that, bro. Okay, I am clean. I am sparkling, shiny, and dripping wet. Your dome is shiny and clean. Yes, simply drenched. Saki, brow. Saki, come. Okay. Yep. Awooga, hide self. Don't look, I'm lewd. Eyes pop out of head. Cries and puts on clothes. Lamau, same. Well, I just say that when somebody says a reply I have no idea how to respond with. Very clever. Yes, same. Okay. It took it too. This feels like sex jokes, not grooming, not gonna lie. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. That's Nega Ace. Salty, I know what you are. I know what you fucking are, Salty. Fucked up. Oh, that's fine. I don't really sound masculine. That's perfectly okay. I'm a sucker for twinks with effeminate voices. Angel Dust from Hasbin Hotel. Okay. Again, 2 minors. I can't wait to see this. Yo, I just realized my socks match my shirt. Show me? Okay. Not explicit, just himself. So the 14-year-old sent a photo of themselves, but not explicit like it says. Just a selfie. You're such a twink, OMG. Lamau, yeah, I know, sadly, bro. What I wouldn't give to be a big boy, but sadly, I'm a skinny boy. Thank you for the 2. It's like the Family Guy gift. There's nothing. Real? But yeah. Well, you see, I want to just really highlight, even the people at the time from 5 years ago didn't call this grooming. So this being relitigated is just, it feels like a desperate grab at anything. You're such a twink, OMG. Lamau. Then we got, yeah, I know, sadly, bro, what I wouldn't give to, yeah. I am a twink too, yeah, I'm not alone. Twinks are superior, yes. We can call after I've eaten lunch. Okie dokie, what you eating after lunch? Sandwich. Oh, what kind of sandwich? Then we never know. We'll never know what kind of sandwich. Exploshi's constant flirting caused V to develop a crush on her, giving V the wrong idea. Exploshi made it clear she did not want to pursue a relationship with V, and explains that she flirts with all her friends. Okay. See? Yeah. So. What'd they call it then? They called it inappropriate, okay? Rose, they called it inappropriate. These people blasted 2 interactions, like an interaction between 2 minors, and made it a whole Twitter spectacle. But yeah. So yeah, I know that there's people that can be flirty with their friends. That just happens. Yeah, you are okay. Yeah, are you okay? Yeah, if you're sure, man. Yeah, for the record, even though I've only known you for 2 days, extremely painfully obvious to tell you if you're not okay. No, I'm fine. Okay, bro, I trust you, but I am watching. Okay, I lied. I guess I'm not. I just thought that I found someone who was similar to me, and I thought, like, you know, you were the one. It isn't your fault or nothing because you were in a relationship. I should have just asked myself, but I hope we can still be friends. Of course we can still be friends, dude. You're really sweet, and I'm glad we met. Okay? This happens. This happens, man. See, they're not even in a relationship. But then, yeah, sorry if I got your hopes up or something. Nah, it's fine. I'm sure you find that special somebody eventually, man. I shouldn't have taken everything you said so seriously. Oh no, was it that the flirting? No. I do that with all my friends. Well, yeah, I know. I really hope you're okay. Yeah, I get over it. I'll get over it. You don't have to worry about this making stuff awkward between us at all. Okay, you're cool. Yeah. Yeah. Dude. So it's like, this is tedious because it's like, yeah, minors are going to have they're going to find it really complicated to sift through their emotions. So yeah, I'm not surprised this person got a crush. I'm not surprised that this person was very flirty with multiple people. Like, this sounds so gay, but yes, they're going to try to see what they like. They're going to try to do, like, they have their own styles of humor. There's some exploring there, yada yada. XYZ reasons why the minors act the way they do. But you gotta remember, we're taking 2 minor femboys talking to each other. So yes, there's gonna be some cringe and some sexual jokes. The 14-year-old thought that the 17-year-old was flirting with them, but they flirt with everybody. It was a common misread. This happens. Some people, even grown adults, have very flirty humor. And then some people take that as hitting on them, but then realize that that adult just has that type of humor with everybody. So yeah, this happens. Okay? This happens. This is not grooming. This is not pedophilia. This is not predatory. This is 2 minors right now that we're looking at just being really fucking awkward and cringe. Not something you want to make a public spectacle out of. There's some more DMs. There's also twit longer responses. Bro. Man, I hope that no one goes into here, bro. But yeah, and we got this account. Exploshi didn't compensate credit V in both instances where V drew profile pictures for her. So now we went from creepy to kid to scamming allegations, I suppose. Because why the fuck not? How many days were these DMs? I think they literally just said 2 days. Hello, Blank. I need your help, yeah? Remember how you drew a really great art of my old Sona? Yes, I do remember. So you see my new one. Oh, I'm on it. OMG. I love you. I love you more, baby. Your goofy style matches my content a lot better. That's all. They forgot to censor that? Yeah. Yeah, even though I'm cute AF, my animations are not. If you ever need me to draw anything, feel free to ask. I don't want to just order you around, bro. Well, if I don't want to do it, I'll say so. I'll say. Okay, bro. Fuck you, I hate you. Grr. But I have nothing to do, so. Okay, bro. You can do it. Fuck. Yes, I can. Something like this may be, again, very, very rough. Why do I look so concerned? Can you please make me look happy and kind of smug? Just felt like drawing it like that, I guess. Okay. Also, you guys are joined. Oh my god. Oh, I feel so bad bossing around. I'm sorry. Oh no. What if I draw a few faces and poses? You pick one. Yes. What? There was no evidence of what the fuck? Hold on. Where am I at? 332? Remember, the allegation was compensate or credit. This is a dumb allegation. Because, yeah, sometimes you have artists that just make fan art or will just do things for you because they like your content. Okay? As long as you two have that agreement beforehand, no one should care. It's a professional agreement. If the artist wants to get paid, they are more than free to say, hey, I would like to get paid for this. And you'd be like, yeah, you know what? That's fucking fair. This is dumb. Holy chopped. Dude. Fuck this. Exploshi sending random sexual messages sent to V, despite Exploshi apparently not wanting to pursue any further than a platonic friendship with V. Oh boy. We'll see it. Yep, we'll see it. Oh boy, it's a new day. I'm going to eat so much cake. Hello? I slept in. Okay, I got worried about you. I was big sleepy. No, I'm fine now. I hope so. Yeah, also earlier you were very, very sad in Bolt Boys. You okay, homie? I'm okay. You thought after yesterday you weren't ever going to talk to me again. No, just because you don't like me back don't mean I don't like you as a person in general. Okay. Literally nothing out of the ordinary here. Your profile pic made me come. Hey, just to tell you, the person who made this thread, they literally said that they make these type of jokes with all their friends. What kind of fucking point is saying that they're proving that point, that they make it with all their friends, by making it with someone that they considered a friend and friend-zoned? Oh, they did it after, refusing to be pursued or whatever. That's dumb. This is dumb. I need a new YouTube icon. Drop your best drawn icons in the replies. I may consider commissioning you. You could just ask me to make a new one, bro. Bro, your icon has served me well, but don't you think it's about time somebody else got their chance? Nope, I am best, woohoo. Ego, wah, how dare you. Selfish. Now you're one to talk. That was joke, by the way. If you're still down to earth as you were back in the good old days. I don't really know what the good old days were, but skull emoji. Dude. Okay. Exploshi, now 18, interacting with a 13-year-old. Okay. Let's see this. Okay. Let's see this. This is going to get into some interesting stuff. Also, they could ask for credit. True. Now, this sounds like it's going to be something. Let's get into this. Okay? Let's get into this. Just letting you know, if you ever need to talk, or just want to talk about stupid shit, I am here. pretty much always online, to be honest/serious. I know, and you don't have to worry about those tags. I know what you mean, hee. Exploshi. Actually, just also to really drill in the allegation. So, they don't actually make any claims here. They said Exploshi 18 interacting with a 13-year-old. They don't make any claims of it being sexual or romantic or flirtatious or anything. But we're going to see. We're going to see. And, really important to highlight, I want you guys to ask in the back of your head, does Exploshi know that this person's 13? Now let's keep going. Oh, what? That's so cool. Pretty. Yeah, it's an egg. I like egg planets. Open up, little goblins inside. That's the yolk of the goblins for free. Aw, you're all excitable and cute today. Yeah, I guess so. I'm just very happy today. You share me. What's made you so happy? Okay. Okay. Literally nothing. So, that could have been something. There was no proof of age. There was not really anything that happened in those DMs that would be like, oh, that's evil. No grooming, no pedophilia, no sexual talk, literally fucking nothing. They're literally just saying this 18-year-old had messages with 13-year-old. What? Like, come on, bro. Come on. Oh, thank you for the 2. I hate the mentality of sex jokes equal predator. But yeah, we'll get into this too. Exploshi seemingly unaware of / downplaying the severity of her behavior toward people. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'll just have to read it like this. Man, how did I end up worrying about it not being socially acceptable? Fuck, hold on. Okay. How did I end up worrying about it not being socially acceptable to compliment someone's appearance because they might think it's weird? It's like, I see someone who's attractive and I want to tell them they look great, but what if they're not comfy getting complimented by a stranger or something, even though I'm just trying to be nice? Okay? I don't care. Exploshi implying romantic / sexual jokes between 2 platonic friends after it was made clear to her that said friends felt uncomfortable with said jokes. Screenshots 3 and 4 are totally unprompted messages that Exploshi sent to one of the friends in a Discord server. Let's see it. Let's see it. It was right before I hit the middle of the post. Yes'm. Also, I just really want to highlight here. Totally unprompted, explosive friends in a Discord server. We don't really know who each person is. We don't know age gap. There's literally nothing to go off of in that regard. But let's see it. I was about to reach it out, blink, and swapped us at the last second, but chemical plant, she had time. She had time to reach the goalpost, and she had 60 seconds, and it ran out a split second before she got there. Which is the funniest shit to me. I was so fucking mad. Funny though, shut the fuck up. Kiss. Wow. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I will even say this. I'm going to make a light sweep for this comment for kiss. Okay? When 2 people are fighting, it's very common for someone to answer with, get a room you 2, or just make up already, or just kiss already. This is a stupid thing to highlight. This is a dumb thing to highlight. This is dumb. There's sketches of him. Get a room, you 2. Just like I said earlier. Just like I said earlier. Yeah. So. Let's keep going. Let's see what the 2 unprompted messages are, apparently. Can you say goodnight to me so I don't have nightmares? Heart, if that's okay. How is that sexual or romantic? Is it gay and cringe? Sure. Again, but how is this, dog? Shut up. Like, hey, I'm going to sleep now just so you don't worry if you notice I'm not sending messages. It's okay, I just went to bed and I hope that clears it up. Really? Again, how is that romantic and sexual? Are we for real? Letting your friend know that you went to bed? Really? Really? None of those messages were something. None of those messages were anything. That's all laughable. There are these allegations of crossing a fucking boundary. Fuck off. Get a room, you two. Yes, because two people were fighting. Fucking, I'm gonna get some sleep, so if I don't type, that's why. And, oh, wish me good dreams. Both of those messages were saying I'm going to sleep. Fuck off. Genuinely. Dude. Dude. Also, some of my friends said that many times. Are they groomers? Well, just because it's your friends, Rose, probably. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Kidding. At least two people, including V, near instantly developed a short-lived crush on her due to her flirtatious language upon first meeting. This should give you a good understanding of the way she talks to new people. Wow. Who cares? Again, it happens. People also develop crushes on people without any rhyme or reason sometimes. You could develop a crush on someone just because of their appearance or how they might conduct themselves in a professional setting or how they talk about their hyperfixation. There's many things. Sure, you could say flirty messages could be like a way to indicate that, but who cares? You made that person get a crush on you? What, did they hold them at gunpoint and say, love me? This is dumb. After noticing people blocking her on Twitter and Discord, she attributed the reasoning to calling a mutual of hers boo, meaning she either forgot all about what she did to other people and isn't aware of the severity of her actions at all, or she chose to ignore that. People sometimes call people baby. We're just policing this person's language. Why? Explosie's behavior is accordingly all too familiar with victims of grooming. However, Explosie did not have the intent to take this behavior any further than via Discord DMs. Her behavior cannot be classed as grooming, but is still understandably very worrying. Again, worrying, concerning, alarming. That's what people do when they're too afraid of giving actual labels. But yeah, no. We're just going to speculate that this person's talking the way they are because they were just violently groomed. And that's why they're taking it out on the people unknowingly. Now, whether or not Explosie was groomed or not before, I have no idea. And you know what? It could be a plausible working theory as to why a 17-year-old decided to be a femboy in the first place. Maybe. Maybe. Or make some degenerate cringe comments. But sometimes, that could just happen just through being influenced by certain medias they consumed. It doesn't have to be that they were manipulated by a grown adult. But, I don't know. I have no idea what actually happened. I actually have no idea. But it seems like a speculation. But even if we're going with that, that could be a rational explanation of why they do the flirty jokes at people. It could happen. But I don't know. I don't know. It's dumb. Is this rage bait? Hopefully. Yeah, let's keep going. Explosie would later make this tweet to respond to the thread. Okay. Explosie's inappropriate, yep. Yeah, so Explosie here, part of the reason why they get shit for this is why anyone gets shit for anything that they do in these VA communities is bending the knee to an extent. Now, granted, it's one thing if you want to apologize for making people uncomfortable. They didn't accept any labels, because obviously they shouldn't. That would be dumb. But here's them saying, yeah, I have pretty much no excuses for this, and I'm always saying dumb shit without thinking, and even if it's a joke, it always comes back to bite me in the ass. I'm really sorry to anyone involved. I'll be replying to some of these individually to hopefully clear some things up. So, they apologize for saying dumb things, and they clarify it's a joke, but they realize that it could fuck people over. It makes people feel uncomfortable. Now, granted, some of the things in this thread were extremely malicious, in bad faith, and disingenuous. Now, they bent the knee on making people feel uncomfortable, and wanting not to do that, because at the end of the day, who would want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, right? Especially with your friends. Who would actually willingly want to make their friends uncomfortable like this? Not, in a rage baity sense or to get a laughable reaction. More or less just making someone that you care about, feel a certain way negatively. You don't want to do that. So it's very plausible that Explosie also just was feeling very down in the dumps when reading this and seeing it in such a negative context and seeing her personal DMs where she was being cringe and gay, just like blown out of proportion. Yeah. Probably not feeling so great too. Yeah, so the poor kid folded. Yes. Yes. But yeah, let's and a couple hours later, released a Twitlonger response to this thread. Now, they make a long fucking Twitlonger, but let's read it. Addressing all the accusations, please read all the way. Before reading this response, please look through the whole accusation tweet link below and look closely so you don't understand everything. Now, one thing I can credit Exploshi for, alright? One thing I can give them props for is this. This isn't a pedophilia or grooming situation at all. Rather one concerning of all the uncomfortable jokes and inappropriate comments I've made without thinking. See, they're not bending the knee on being these heavy labels, and I could applaud them for that. I'm glad that they didn't, because that's not what they would be in this situation. But they're apologizing for making people feel uncomfortable. Now, granted, this could have been a private matter rather than just blown out of proportion, but they're going through it. Yep, they're going through this. Especially to people younger than me. Of explaining each individual tweet that I feel needs to be explained here instead of in replies, because frankly, that was a lazy way to push aside the problem. Okay, I had this problem before realizing I was a girl, where I'd always be really excited to talk about drawing my character with feminine features, and I'd often project onto them a lot and go too far. As pictured here, blank as for the fucks me joke, I have no excuse for that. I just saw when they said fucks it and thought I'd make a horrible wordplay pun. Who cares? Who actually cares? Back when I used femboy as a meme buzzword all the time, I tend to make a lot of sexual jokes with friends relating to them. And this has made people upset a lot of times in the past. I'm really sorry to anyone out there who I upset with my vulgar sense of humor, who I might have forgotten. I pretty much just go around spreading it wherever I please, forgetting who I pissed off. I always thought twink was just a term for a kind of slim male physique and nothing else, but then I learned it's actually slang for a kind of gay guy. So yeah, this doesn't look good at all. Okay. Plausible. But, again, even if they did, 3-year age gap, don't care. But let's keep going. Okay. This is the first instance where me making bad lewd jokes and jokingly flirting with someone actually resulted in them catching feelings, followed by me swiftly rejecting them. Yep. Although, I'm pretty sure it's more than just that. I talked to them a lot, so when they started to act up, then confessed, I was worried that I might have gotten their hopes up or something. I definitely wasn't my intention to make them fall for me, and I'm still really sorry that it happened. And yeah, I do playfully flirt with my friends sometimes, but I forget I can't do it with anyone and have them automatically understand, so it's my fault for not thinking, especially since the person was much younger than me. Look, again, it's not your fault if someone develops a crush on you. Okay? Someone developing a crush on you is 100% themselves doing it. Okay? You don't have any magic spells. You don't have any magic ways of whimsing. You just happen to check their boxes off of what they would find attractive. It's not your fault for making someone else feel attracted to you. So people making Exploshi apologize for that is just ludicrous. It's fucking insane. But yes, your profile picture made me come is obviously raising alarm bells. Please note that the screenshot is cropped to only show that message. At the time, their profile picture was a meme, and often that I say insert thing here makes me come if I like something or find it funny, even though it's pretty gross. Again, I shouldn't have said it to them, considering the age gap. 3 years, no one should care, and that's a common joke. Who cares? Who actually cares? No one should actually care. This is not alarming. This is not concerning. This is not something that should put you on a watch list. This is dumb. But yeah. Let's see. The situation had actually already been brought to my attention months ago. Shortly after it happened, a person who was friends with this 13-year-old in question approached me on Discord with the intention of interrogating me for these things. I'd said to them, because they looked borderline predatory. What? With the intention of interrogating me for things because I said to them looked borderline predatory. Can't disagree there. Nothing looked predatory about these DMs. What the fuck? This is actually when I learned that this person was 13 and I realized why what I said looked so inappropriate. I apologized to them, asked if they could tell the 13-year-old I was sorry for how I acted and that I wouldn't talk to them again. Most of this comes down to me trying to be as friendly and nice as I could to this person after learning about personal struggles they have in their life, trying to appear like a caring person they could trust. However, this supposedly rubbed them the wrong way and triggered them because they've been groomed for real in the past and and the situation brought back those memories. According to their friend who spoke with me. I'm truly sorry that I made them feel that way, and I can only hope they're doing better now. And again, Exploshi, see, they didn't even know they were 13. That's the reason why I said keep it in the back of your heads, because the screenshots had nothing to suggest that, and they didn't know they were 13 until someone reached out to them. Which, can you imagine that? Imagine you just being nice to someone, right? Imagine you trying to be, like, nice and friendly to someone, and then shortly after an unknown person goes, hey, why are you being fucking predatory to my friend? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And, like, they try to, like, frame you for, like, being predatory? That's insane. You're not. And those DMs that they had was not predatory. It was being friendly. There was nothing else, nothing more. But yeah. I always worry about my image. This is just another typical self-deprecating tweet about how being nice to people ends up with me in trouble because they thought I was being creepy. Exactly what happened. This was just me making bad, unwanted jokes at an inappropriate time at the expense of people who are really uncomfortable with being talked about or shipped in that manner. One of them approached me afterwards to tell me that I'd done wrong and I apologize. There's another example of me not reading the room or thinking before I speak. Okay. You could apologize for making people feel uncomfortable. I still don't think that this needs to be a public spectacle. Yeah. Props for Exploshi for not being overly emotional in this response, unlike most people respond. Yeah, no. I don't think that they should, like, this should have been something that they get publicly, like, fucking take shot at. I'm not taking a shot every time Ace says either of these, I will die. Lol, I'm not, no, this is dumb and 3-year age gap. Fuck you, Crow. No, but, yeah, no, it is dumb. The reason why I'm harping on this so much is because this is the thing that people are going at Gooseworx for, and some people try to call them a groomer defender for. Exploshi's not a groomer. I'm sorry. They're not. This is a 5-year-old, situation that's being relitigated for the convenience of getting mad at someone else. But, let's keep going. I can't stress enough that this situation is entirely to do with me not thinking about how I speak and making uncomfortable jokes. And with the wrong people, and I'm hoping these explanations help to clear things up more, trying to prevent this is something I continue to work on, even if evidently, it hasn't been working out so well lately. I'm not a pedophile or a groomer, and I don't want to pursue anyone in a romantic or sexual way. I just have no idea how to act appropriately on the internet. I'm sorry for my behavior. Reached a point where screenshots like this can't have people convinced I'm similar to the likes of Carson or John Bob. No idea who the fuck those are. Apologize to anyone who feels like this no longer can trust me as a result of these actions, and I hope I can pick myself up and improve with everyone watching to make sure I do. Then he posts a Twitter thread. Huge thank you to all my friends who already know that I could be, like, helping me through this. Okay. Dude. How much did TikTok fools even look into this? Probably not at all. They probably just saw everyone else get mad at something and just threw it in, like, haphazardly. That would be my guess. Also, let me just put this on 2x speed. Yeah, it's a lengthy one, but there's a lot to cover. Apologies to everyone who's been caught up in this mess. Also, please don't drag my partner into this. I heard y'all are sending them death threats, which isn't okay no matter what happened here. Sending death threats is fucked up. Do not do this to Exploshi or anybody associated, regardless of the situation. Other people also offered their 10 cents on this situation. It would actually be 2 cents for the phrase, but, let's see these people's responses. John Swan, fucking John Swan of old people, This is so cringe. They are both minors. Some of the messages are weird, no doubt, but this is literally a non-story. Go outside. Neon caffeine. Mango. Okay? Another old commentary person. It's kind of funny we're just starting off with exiled people. They're claiming Exploshi's a groomer because they jokingly said to their friend, your PFP may become, and it wasn't even a pic of them. Y'all want to be pedo hunters so bad, Lamau. What the fuck? Georgie Porgy on Break Plus Moving. Now this person's going to be notable because they're going to take up a lot of this video because they self-insert. One half of me thinks this is real, but the other half of me thinks... Sorry, one half of me thinks this isn't real, but the other half of me thinks this is real. I've been friends with this person for basically a year now. I have experienced this. I don't understand that well. If she did do this, then that would have been jokes. I believed that, but I never thought it would be like this. These are obviously jokes, but I'm starting to think differently about this. I feel bad showing this because I might get backlash about showing these, but I'm starting to think a bit more differently now. Yeah. A retrospective self-insert. It's going to show the DMs, I believe. So let's see it. The more I look, the more I feel horrible. I'm hot, blushes hard. Again, Exploshi's established that they just are flirty with friends. This person's being a self-insert. This is stupid. Well, now, sorry, I made Thomas and someone made you. I'm hot. What? Thank you, son from Teletubby. Sorry if I talk a lot. I just want to be good friends. Drawing coming later. Blushes hard. This would be 2020, so I guess Exploshi would be like, what, 16? Then they make a fucking twit longer. Hey everyone, I had recently seen the news about Exploshi and the way she acts towards her friends who are either older or younger. Which is an interesting statement. Older or younger? You're showing screenshots of them being 16. And you're talking about older or younger. This person doesn't mention their age, by the way. Are you older than this 16-year-old that's talking weird to you? That'd be very curious. Might want to answer that one. I'm pretty curious now. I started talking about it and how I was confused, and I shared a few screenshots about the jokes. She would tell people in her friend group. I didn't want to make this, but people wanted a bit more context and some more evidence about the whole thing. Here are the link to the evidence of my own tweets. When I first became friends with her, it was when she had a Discord server, and she had told her members not to comment. She told her members to comment on a video that someone has stolen from her. And while I was looking at the video, I looked down at the description, and they credited her stolen video. In DMs, I told her they credited her, but she said it was still plagiarized. I agreed and was about to continue to whatever I was doing. But she had told me that she has seen me on Twitter a bunch, so she wanted to be friends. I agreed, and it was a bit off-put. I agreed and was a bit off-put by it, but I didn't really care. We talked a bit, and she sent me a dumb picture. And I laughed, and she said like some weird comment, and I never thought of it until now. The picture. Bro. And we get the picture in a second. Of course, you got me like... You were cool. Thank you! Pussy got me like that too. Yes. Okay. Again, this person's 16. You don't state your age. How old are you? I'm very curious. Mr. Self-insert. Dude, this is dumb. The next day I drew her a picture because I like to draw my friends, and she asked me to draw her as a weird little gremlin because I like to draw my friends like that, and when I agreed she responded like this. Then she had told me to change the shirt color, and I agreed again, and she responded in another weird fashion. When I changed the color of the shirt, showed her the picture, she responded again in another weird response. The picture and the second response, a last response. A few days later, we were talking about the BFB cartoon and object show, and we were just talking about it, and she showed me some music and what she would do with it, and I thought it was cool. And I drew her another picture, and she responded in another gross fashion. The DM. Bro. I'm just gonna turn up the speed on this. Let's go 3 times speed. Yep, I thank you, it's so cute. I was waiting for the image to load and hoping it was one of those weird sitting gremlins like in your PFP. Yeah. I will make you one. I will come. Yum. Dude. Yummers. Okay, dude. This pink, that's my Epic X logo. Okay, thanks. I love you. Again, they're talking like this how they talk with all their friends, and they're 16 right now. Why are we doing this? Explodey. Girl, that's so sexy. And then they just said remaster on top of that. Thank you. Also great video. You're greater. ... Arlo and Sketchbook. I'm gonna come. Okay. Okay, I never took any mind of it and continued talking to her. I admit I was pretty inclusive by constantly asking her to a VC because I wanted to talk and kind of shoot the shit and hang in a VC. A few days later, she went into her public VC and started saying stuff about my voice since I'm a squeaker, and she would say things like, join the VC back when your voice is deeper. I muted and was uncomfortable for the time being. That just sounds like a joke. Why should I care about that? A few more days later, I messaged her again and joking around talking about her old cartoons called Poop Coffee, and she responded in another weird manner. I responded as well in a joking manner, but I was uncomfy for the time being, the response she made. This person's such a self-insert, bro. Bro, Poop Coffee is my favorite cartoon. Sex, God, I love sex. You were uncomfy with that response? Really? You were so uncomfy that you just had to say, God, I love sex? Fuck off. A few more days after that, she had made a private server for mutual and friends. I asked to join and she gave me an invite. I joined, and in a few minutes, two people started arguing about something she told them to get a room or just kiss already. It weirded out some people in the server, but no one cared for the time being. Weeks from then, she messaged me about my role in Screen Chubs. I was being an annoying piece of shit because I would brag to people that I would be in an Exploshi cartoon. She confronted me about it and how I shouldn't act like that and how I shouldn't keep that deep down and bring it up shit because it annoys people. I agreed and apologized profoundly because I constantly did that, and I felt bad because of the fact that she was getting a lot of negative feedback of it. After that, I agreed with her and thanked her for the confrontation. Bro, I'll thank you for the 2. Take a shot every time an obvious joke gets overblown. Yeah, true, just Nix, just true. So what's this about exactly? This person's self-inserting to try to make this person seem like a sexual freak. And it's like, yeah, they made me totes uncomfortable, when clearly, no, they didn't. They clearly didn't. You're just retrospectively, like, looking back at this to try to paint yourself as a victim. Yeah. Last weird response. I had started talking about how in a private server we should play some Jackbox, and hang, she didn't know. What it was, and I explained it to her later. I started playing on my server, and someone made a joke about Exploshi. I showed her the pictures, and she responded in an extremely bizarre way. I have been friends with Exploshi for about a year now, and I never thought about how things she would DM me and some of her friends, either in private server or in DMs. It made me feel horrible knowing that a friend of mine did something like this. It makes me feel gross that I would try to strike up some convos and become friendly after. All I have to say for Exploshi is, choose your words wisely and please think before you act. Exploshi, I don't want to believe you did something like this, but the evidence is right there. Please respond correctly. Dude. This is actually insane to me. Bro. What a self-insert. No, Lamau, sorry. I made Thomas and someone made you. I'm hot. And we're just flipping through these DMs again. Okay. Exploshi, as someone who has been around for several months and has helped me on YouTube and many other places, I tell you this because I care about you and your future. Go outside. Addison going crazy. From my personal experience with Exploshi, this is how they talk to everyone indiscriminately. It's bizarre and doesn't make it anywhere near right, but it's worth mentioning that they aren't a groomer or pedophile, just extremely socially awkward and poisoned by the internet. Last post a thread. Okay. Her behavior cannot be classed as grooming, but is still understandably very worrying. Being very socially awkward and poisoned by the internet towards a fucking 13-year-old isn't exactly the most excusable thing, no? They didn't know they were 13. Disingenuous framing. And nothing happened in those DMs. Literally nothing happened in those DMs. You said being very socially awkward and poisoned by the internet. They were being kind. Nothing sexual happened in those DMs. Very disingenuous framing. Someone didn't read the thread award. I agree. She deserves all the criticism she gets, just saying that the difference between being a socially unaware dipshit versus being a predator is still important when determining the full gravity of a situation. Sure. We got another person. Evidence that her flirtatious/sexual joking nature when interacting with friends. Okay. Also, this is not excusing her behavior, but you have to recognize that she isn't a predator, considering all she did is, at worst, was make sexual jokes/language. Believe it or not, but pedophiles don't slip into DMs just to make sex jokes. They ask for nudes and shit. Okay. This thread never claims that Explosive is a pedo or groomer. All it does is present evidence of Explosive's behavior that should have not been blown out of proportion. Again, this could have been handled privately behind the scenes. You made a public spectacle about 2 minors being weird and awkward. Congratulations. I do appreciate that I'm just presenting my take on the information. I bring up these elements due to the fact that I see people taking this as evidence of her being a groomer, and I want to specifically address why I don't agree. Hey, Space, can you paint? No, I don't really do art. The only art I do is actually pixel art. As a close friend of Explosion since summer 2017, here's my take on the situation. Okay, and as you can see, then they show some of the text messages here. So I've known her since 2017. I could be pretty safely say that this is just how she talks to close friends, and she's done it for years. She wouldn't explicitly target somebody like that. Okay? She would never target somebody with that much of a gap, especially because she's in a committed relationship. Okay? As you can see. Yes, but the difference is that I'm aware that this is just how she is. It's basically just her vocabulary with close friends because she's comfortable enough to joke around. See, this point has been being battered over and over again that this is just how she is with everybody. Right? Not be with someone specific. She didn't isolate someone. This is just how she is with everybody. And that isn't just in DMs either. I've been in a few different servers with her through the years, and she doesn't limit that to one-on-one conversation. It's just how she talks to friends. I promise you, she isn't a predator. She isn't like that. Can only do pixel art? True, I know. I know. It's over. I made like a B. It was with pixel art. It was pretty chill. I'll be honest, I agree that she isn't a predator, but like, I still think that she doesn't really get boundaries. Like, I don't know. I don't know her too well, but it feels weird to talk to people in general like that. It's just me, though. Then why are we making this a public spectacle if you don't even know how to feel about it? That is very emotionally reckless. Bro. Very emotionally reckless. Ugh. Dude. Yeah, we could be bees, true. That doesn't make her a bad person. She can learn from the mistake and grow from it. I agree it isn't appropriate to talk to minors like that, but it's not in a predatory manner whatsoever. Again, they were both minors. Small age gap, minors. Should not have been a public situation like that. Absolutely insane. Honestly, swag. I want to learn how to love, how to live, how to come, how to fart, brap, 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 brap. Again, how they talk with friends. It would have been 16, 17 here. You are horny. I'm joking. Everyone's doing it in the server, bro. They're like A-logging a teen. Flirtatious behavior in front of multiple people, clearly joking. I'm right here, sweetie. Yep. Well, they aren't hurting me. Yeah, I do dances. I'm revealing bimbo outfits. Oh. Screenshot from a friend of mine who also happens to be friends with her. Further backing up my claim, and this type of talk is not to be taken seriously. Alright, no fair. You can't just make me fucking call myself in public. Great stuff. Dude. Wait, X-Dax, you could draw? Pretty cool. But dude. And we got this. You know what else is cute? Oh. You? Oh, alright, no fair. You can't. Okay, yeah, see, it's clear joke. Clear fucking joke, dude. Ugh. Being in a relationship does not stop people from grooming others. Explosion may not have been grooming people, but she was extremely borderline. No, she wasn't. She was not. I'd like for her to write a real proper response and to attempt to handle this better than she currently has. She wasn't, though. She wasn't even close to grooming. You guys are just jumping the gun. She will respond and clear the air better than I can, but I seriously mean it when I say this is how she talks with close friends. Inappropriate, yes. Predatory behavior, absolutely not. It may not seem like it, but when she talks like this, it's always in a joking manner. If anything, this only means we need to give her shit so we could educate her. But calling her a predator is too far. I agree with Blot. What? We need to give her shit so we could educate her? Really? So we're gonna air out cringe and embarrassing DMs between two minors to teach them a lesson? Dude. Holy fuck off. Bro. Fuck me. In defense of Explosion, as well as I think this should happen. See, I forgot to write about what I think should happen. I want people to approach the situation with an open mind and take both sides into consideration. I want the harassment and death threats to stop as well. Explosion already apologized, but a follow-up would be appreciated. Dude, literally... Dude. You were literally trying to pack watch a 15-year-old... So no, sorry, not a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old, 16, 17-year-old from how old they were at this point, and A-logging a teenager. This person's been getting death threats, their partner was getting death threats, people have overblown a situation because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're demanding a second response so that they could quote-unquote teach them a lesson. This is mind-boggling. Dude, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. In defense of Explosion as well, what I think should happen. My name is Blot. As of summer 2017, for nearly 4 years, me and Explosion have been friends. I've had hundreds of conversations with Explosion and have been in multiple Discord servers with her. It is safe to say I have a relatively good grasp as to what Explosion is like as a person, and I will do what I can to defend her name where I see fit. I do not support these actions, but I refuse to sit and watch people mercilessly harass her and claim that she is a groomer/pedophile when these claims are not true. Before continuing on with this twit longer, I highly suggest you read into the leaked messages as well as Explosion's twit longer and then come back. I've been in touch with Explosion through a couple of Discord servers I'm no longer in, as well as through a couple of Discord accounts I have since abandoned. Please understand that I'm not able to gather every scrap of evidence there is, but I have a few good examples of the way she jokes with her friends, which will be included in a reply under this tweet. The first thing I should note is the individual who appears in the leaked screenshots as well as Explosion are both minors from the messages that were sent. The individual being 14, Explosion being 17. This should disprove the claims that she is a pedophile, but I will continue to elaborate. Okay? Hey, stop, please, my brain's melting. Never. Never. Yeah. Here we keep going. In the messages, there are absolutely no messages from Explosion that engage sexual activity with the individual. There is no asking for sexually explicit photos of them. There's no exchanging of nudes of sexually suggestive photos, and there is not even one message from Explosion specifically saying that she has sexual interest in this individual. Yes, I will use Call Me Carson situation as an example, where in this case, he was flat out asking the girl for explicit images, expressed interest in being in a romantic relationship with her, as well as saying things like how we would think of her while masturbating. None of this is present in Explosion's messages. As someone who has known Explosion for so long, it is safe to say she jokingly uses vocabulary present in the messages to friends she is uncomfortable around. This is not just a recent occurrence, but it's been going on for the most of the time I've known her. Even before she transitioned, and to note, it isn't only in direct messages either. She does this in servers containing multiple people and openly uses these words, further suggesting it is joking and not targeting. Once again, I've included images in the replies to this tweet proving this. Explosion is also in a committed relationship that has spanned multiple years. They are very involved with each other, and the odds of Explosion breaking the commitment is very, very low. But yeah. I've seen people relentlessly harassing both Explosion and her girlfriend in these past few hours. including death threats. No matter how upset people you are at somebody, you should never threaten or wish harm on them. I would consider this more unacceptable than the situation at hand. I hope you spent the time to carefully read this tweet longer. If you have any questions for me, please reply. Yep, thank you for reading this. I hope you have a pleasant evening. Yeah, to be honest, again, I just don't think that this needed to be a public spectacle. But we're about to near the end. The situation's currently ongoing and more information is likely to come out. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it. Dude. So yeah. That was a waste of fucking time. Why am I getting tagged in here? On his birthday, on his... LOL? LOL? Okay. Anyways. So for this next part, right, I do want to go into this. So we're going to go into... But before I do go into this, this is like the Funky Frog Bait response to drama. But yeah, just a quick recap on Exploshi. I don't think that they are a groomer. I don't think that they are a pedophile. I don't think they're a predator. I think that they were a minor being awkward and cringe, and it got blown out of proportion. But yes, right now, I want to read some stuff. I think you're undermining the definition of being a groomer. Grooming someone is when you earn someone's trust, usually a minor. Trust what Gooseworx did was really bad, but she was responding inappropriately to a minor on Twitter without considering their age. She wasn't trying to earn the minor's trust. So yeah, we're recapping to this by simply replying to them openly on social media. As someone who has been groomed before myself, please just be more careful about what terms you use when talking about the situation. So yeah, this person, Lilypond, tried to call Gooseworx a groomer for the prior situation about them interacting with that 17 turned 18-year-old on Twitter. But yeah, my fault, Gain. I just didn't want that crowd of her saviors getting on my ass asking for evidence when it's been given in the replies. How would jumping the gun on a label not have people ask for evidence? And how would you... Dude, crowd of her saviors getting on my ass asking for evidence? Dog, you post evidence for your claims. Are you a fucking dumbass? So yeah, this person's already... just not smart at all. Alright, great. Why are we misusing the word groomer? What the fuck? Hello, can we not water down and slap these kind of labels on shit, please? From what I've seen, it's extremely fucked up to push that line for the sake of an argument. Literally, my bad, dog. I just didn't want to outright call her a pedophile when her saviors and bootlickers are fucking attacking me. Dude, what kind of, like, what the fuck? So, you didn't want to call her a pedophile, someone that would have the attraction on it. You called her a groomer, someone who would act on the attraction of pedophilia. What a fucking genius, dude. What a genius. This person's a dumbass, dude. Holy shit. Are we not confusing her with the person she defended, or for those later points? As far as I know, she did that and made sexual jokes with one minor. And that's fine to you? She still made jokes in true NSFW towards minors when she was 26 years old. Proof? I did not say it was fine to me, but we need to keep the facts straight. The fact being that she still made sexual jokes towards minors, and she still acted like the victim when she was called out. Again, proof? Because that clip was just not it. First time I'm hearing about the groomer part. Hold on. Basically, there's a video in the reply someone put in. Goose does sexual jokes with kids even when she finds out they're a child. She continues to make porn of said child and makes jokes. Sexualizes a 14-year-old and calls snowflakes for her not joking with her. Proof? But yeah. Hate campaigns, and it's literally black people defending their culture, and have evidence of Gooseworx being racist and a fucking groomer. No, they don't. They don't have it. She's not a groomer. So you just jumped the gun here. Genuinely, Funky Frog Bait. I can't stand their ass. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, we're gonna watch that, by the way. We're gonna watch her response. Dude. Yo, what's up, Lucari? But yeah. So yeah, people have literally... So this person's literally just jumped the gun. Got over 4,000 likes on calling Gooseworx... Slandering Gooseworx as a groomer, by the way. But yeah. I can understand why at a glance this might seem like valid evidence, but Gooseworx isn't racist. That Gooseworx isn't racist, but the wording she chose, genuine racism, proves that she still has a lot of learning to do when it comes to being anti-racist. Dog. Okay, again, there is a difference of scale of severity here. right? When you say genuine racism, obviously you're talking about, right, a white person going up to a black person, right? Let's just say for this scenario, either saying slurs directly to them or saying things like, or unfair treatment, prejudice, stuff like that. But saying slurs for shock value is not the same. Okay? And I'm not going to pretend it's the same. Okay? Because there is a huge difference between two white people behind the scenes saying a word, right, like a slur, that no one else would hear, versus someone saying it directly to someone treating them unfairly, someone, doing hate crimes out of it, and I'm talking about like murder, or giving them an unfair, like not letting them get a job because of like their race, not letting them, unfair treatment, just to be very blunt, unfair treatment. Huge fucking difference. Yeah. Oh yeah, what's up, Sugar Panda? But yeah. Anyways, before I go take a nap, check out DMs, please. Sorry for being annoying about it. I don't know if you saw it or not. XP. So what should Goose say then? Well, if she just didn't say genuine, guys, she would be completely fine. Okay? And Crow, if you're talking about the art that you sent me, I think I did already see it. Yeah, I saw it. It looked pretty decent. Yeah, you did a pretty solid job. But yeah, no, it's like... This is dumb. But yeah, we continue. Fuck. Or not. But we continue. For everyone saying Gooseworx is... Yep, I'm going to assume you're incredibly privileged and or have no critical thinking skills. Some of her racist tweets are very old, but the issue is she has not apologized. Her silence about it is what speaks volumes. Because she didn't say something because of a negative joke from 7 years ago, you're dumb. You're fucking dumb, bro. On top of that, when she did finally speak up about it, she could not be bothered to be serious about it and use the phrase genuine racism as if there was acceptable amounts of unserious racism. Again, I'm not going to be a dick for shock humor. Gooseworx is also predatory on top of all that. What the fuck? I don't understand why some of you are so dead set in defending her. She's not a good person. Proof? Proof on Predator? And then someone molding about the apology. Yeah, that just pissed me off so bad. Like, genuinely, what is their problem? I find it very telling how defensive they got when were about Gooseworx in the stream, and even more so defensive when they were in the apology. Yeah, you know why? Because you're slandering this person, this Funky Frog person, as a racist who is just okaying everything, when you were unironically proving her point of having a hate campaign. Okay, because we're going to look at it. Okay, we're going to look at it. It's 6 minutes. We're going to take a solid look. This person literally said that, Funky Frogbait said that they were not racist, right? And it popped up in their chat. And from what they saw, they said Gooseworx was not racist. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Every single time I have made any attempt to address a negative reaction to something I have said, it has immediately resulted in far worse backlash. I am in every single possible way incentivized to do nothing right now. Everything about this statement will be scrutinized and insulted, from my tone of voice, the fact I'm reading from something I wrote beforehand, the way I look, my choice of wording, even the length of the video itself.
Which everyone just goes on to prove her point, by the way.
I've been on the internet for a long time. I know how this works. But there's something about thousands of people calling you a racist that really cannot go unacknowledged. I'm not going to cry on camera or bring out a ukulele. If you still think I'm a racist after watching this video, it is not my place to tell you otherwise. I'm just going to tell you exactly what happened and address the accusations against me. After this, I will continue to upload my content as usual because I will have nothing more to say about this. This past Sunday, while playing a game on stream, someone brought up the Amazing Digital Circus. I had just seen a Penguin Zero video about how the last episode was leaked and how the creator, Gooseworx, had received intense criticism for this, despite it being out of her control.
Sure.
I am not a fan of the Amazing Digital Circus. I have previously expressed my disinterest in the show after the topic had been spammed in my chat during streams multiple times. The community surrounding the show seemed very unpleasant to be a part of, and I honestly did not want to associate with it. Despite this, I still express sympathy for Gooseworx because I want indie art to succeed, even if it's indie art that I don't particularly like. I made the point that while many users claim to want more authentic human-made content, they often treat the humans making it poorly. While talking about this, a handful of users started spamming that Gooseworx was a racist in the chat. While most of my viewers are wonderful and I love to interact with them, there are others who will spam misinformation, insults, and extremely dark subject matter at me while streaming. My moderators are volunteers. They do the best that they can. These were extremely serious allegations from a fanbase that has developed a very bad reputation online, provided without any context whatsoever.
Yeah, so just to also say, right, if you're streaming, right, you're not gonna. You might say something off the cuff, right? It's very common with streaming. I think if someone like miswords something or says something off the cuff, you should have a lot more charity with it on a live stream setting versus a video. Like, right now, if she made a bad take in this response, yes, you should be like, well, okay, so you edited this, you made it into the video. Yeah, you definitely do deserve scrutiny if you said something bad in this response. But if she were to respond in a live stream setting where it was just off the cuff, I would be a lot more fair because it's a live stream setting. It's happening in real time, and if you don't really think about it too much, you could criticize that you didn't think about your response too much before just putting it out there. But it's still off the cuff. You might misword things, you might get details wrong, you might not know things. There's a lot of factors. But, yeah, no, from what I've seen, I have not seen anything to prove the claim that Gooseworx is a racist. Did she make edgy jokes? Yeah, some of them were nearly a decade ago. So it's like, no, I don't think that should affect her professional career options in this space, just like I said with Michael Kovac and Ashley Nichols. But yeah, Gooseworx said some, edgy things back in the day. She says some edgy stuff now. Who cares? Genuinely, who actually cares? And you're getting on her, right? People will get on her for things like the Explosie thing we just looked into. Explosie's not a groomer. But would it shock you to say that people called her a groomer defender for that? And some people try to, like as you saw, try to jump the gun and call her a groomer. What's the evidence for that? Well, I just didn't want to call them a pedophile. Fucking dumbass. This is dumb. Yeah. This is actually really fucking dumb. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I don't think Funky Frogbait or whatever deserves to get, absolutely, bodied just because they said something off the cuff. Well, that's what this audience will do.
My only knowledge of Gooseworx's behavior at this point with regards to racism was that she had recently made it very clear that racists were not in any way welcome in the Amazing Digital Circus fandom in a very strongly worded tweet.
Sure.
I have since done my research, as I have been asked to do. What I found were certainly not things I would ever post. From what I can tell, they were intended to be jokes, but I personally didn't find them funny, and it makes sense that they would disturb people. Whether or not Gooseworx's more recent statements show sufficient personal growth to ethically consume her content seems to be a very hotly contested question right now. It's an easy question for me. I already wasn't, and don't see myself doing so in the future. In the moment while streaming...
Yeah, so it's like, again, because I know she's not going to engage with that because she's not even a fan of the show. She's just looking out for herself, which is completely fine, by the way, right? She's trying to clear her name. That's the whole point of this response. But it's like, let's just say, hypothetically, if Gooseworx stopped making the edgy jokes, what would be the timer cap for you to be like, okay, I could stop using this to weaponize it whenever I don't feel like liking you? Because in this space, it doesn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like that they do that much at all. A decade's a long time. Decade's a real long time. But yeah. So, yeah, this is really dumb. But I'm going to just say, just because you make edgy jokes, I don't think that you should be canceled off of professional deals or running a show. I don't care. I really don't care if you make edgy jokes and have shock value. If an audience member should... See, this is why it's so dumb to cater to audiences. Because there are billions of people on this planet, right? There are several billions of people on this planet. And there's several diverse forms of media to enjoy. The beauty of it should be that the creator should make the show how they want, and it attracts the audience members that actually enjoy it. Catering to an audience, why? Why should I have to sacrifice my moral compass, sacrifice my personal beliefs, sacrifice my interests, sacrifice my creative differences just to make you happy? Really? That's very that's very opposite of what, the art space is supposed to encourage. That's very opposite. But yet they still have that mindset. These people in the audience are so very fucking entitled that they see one thing that they don't like and they say things like recast recast, or get a different person to run the show, or cancel the show. Who the fuck are you? What show have you made? What talents do you bring to the table? Who the hell are you? You want to make something to your own standards? How about you join the scene and make something to your own standards? Why try to puppet someone around to make what you want when the whole beauty of this scene is to make what you can do that yourself anyways? This is just dumb. Beyond dumb. But yes, it's the fandom also, it's impossible to actually argue with them, okay? Because they're not really looking for a reason to, like, they're not looking for redemption. They're not looking for, change. They're looking for things to be mad at. Because if you could be mad at something, negative information is the best way for things to get you growth in the scene, the best way to, get you noticed, right? And all these things, right? All these things. So, when they pretend to care, when they posture themselves, then yeah, they could pretend to actually look like a good person. But I guarantee you, anytime that these people that pretend to posture to be a good person, like we've seen from time to time again, who will fall the hardest, once you put them under the spotlight, they won't survive. They won't survive at all. That's why it's so tedious. Are you really pissed off about how someone acts? Don't watch them instead of giving them more engagement then. True. That's another thing. A show that is ending, by the way. Yeah, no, that's the crazy part. Gooseworx already, like, months before this, like, if not a while ago, has said that they weren't going to make a season 2. They don't believe in filler episodes. They feel like it would just be filler. And, yeah, the show is literally ending once it drops in theaters. So, yeah. A-Space, also people had to tell these fools to keep their goose shit private if they're an artist or want to showrunner because it will come back to them at some point. That's dumb. People shouldn't be canceled because of making fan art for this show. Yeah. This has all been dumb. This has all been overblown. I've seen some people say karma. And it's just really fucking stupid. Yes. This is the biggest audience that will moral grandstand and posture to pretend that they have some standards. But the second they get put on that same spotlight, then they'll make exceptions. That's why I don't really like this audience. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of the show. I'm going to buy tickets to watch it. I don't really know these people too well. I've seen some of their work, right? Michael Kovac, I've seen some of his work and other things, right? That's one I've definitely seen around a lot. But you know what? I don't know these people. I'm speaking on principle. Okay? And these same people will probably fold, like they have when pressed. That's why I'm actually kind of impressed with Sean Chiplock, because when it came to allegations against him, he didn't fold, he responded, and responded well, and debunked it. He fought back. He clapped back. I was proud to see that Ashley Nichols, instead of folding to the racist narrative, showed that someone was being disingenuous to farm drama and showed the full out of context clip. It's great to see that type of pushback. Because as much as it's like, yeah, you know what? It's just best to just leave a response and move on. If they don't move on, then yeah, slap the malicious, disingenuous people for what they are. Because that's all they're doing. That's exactly like Ashley Nichols got it right on the money, right? She got it right on the money when they said they were just maliciously farming this just to clip more drama out of it. That is exactly what these people should do more often when people are being disingenuous, saying that they're engagement farming and being malicious. And this is actually what happened. You might even see real shifts of goalposts into the real time. But yeah, they should not be bending the knee. Bending the knee always fucks them over. Funky made another response to this, by the way. I haven't seen it yet. I'd have to go look for it. But let me see this.
Based on the information I had, I shut down the chatters who were making these accusations. I assumed this was just more extreme behavior stemming from the episode leak. I'm sorry for how aggressive this response was. It made me very upset because it touched on something that had been weighing on me for a while. That harassment campaigns online under the guise of accountability have gotten out of control. That these harassment campaigns often spread misinformation. That the purpose of these call-outs or cancellations or whatever you want to call them is often not effective at actually preventing harm, but it is very effective at finding a righteous justification for doing harm to someone else. The irony was that only a few hours later, videos accusing me of being a racist were getting thousands of likes. If you, after hearing the facts about what happened, choose to still believe that I'm a racist, that makes me horribly sad, but I can't do anything about it. If you believe, as many people have stated, that I'm just another fake white queer that likes to live out rather than meaningfully critique the evils of white supremacy and capitalism, I disagree with you, but I accept that I can't change your mind. What I refuse to accept is the people filling my comment sections so obviously delighted to prove that I have been secretly bigoted and hypocritical all this time, after everything that I've posted. I refuse to accept the glee with which they finally feel justified to say extremely cruel things about me as a person. I refuse to accept people dropping isolated claims that I am racist on several social media platforms, completely separated from the context of the original video, likely leading many of my followers to believe that if they are not white, I do not value or advocate for them, which is not true. This behavior is disgusting, exactly what I was addressing on stream, and I do not accept it as valid criticism. This is the only statement that I will be making about this. If you want to continue to express how much you dislike me, that's fine. All I can ask is that you try to do so responsibly. Leave your opinions under this video or the video where the incident actually occurred so that people have the full context of the situation. Cite your sources. Use my actual words. If you are right and I am secretly a terrible person, this basic level of honesty should not weaken your position at all. I would also ask that you perhaps engage with me the same way I engage with all of you. The things I say are said in my voice with my face attached to it. I don't think it's unfair to ask for the same level of vulnerability. This may be entertaining drama for you, but it is not to me. I cannot prove to you that I'm a good person. I can only continue to make content about weird topics I find interesting, raise awareness and donate to help communities that need it, and try to make people laugh, because that's the whole reason I started doing this. Whether you continue to watch me or not is up to you.
Yep. You know what? Not really, like, I'm not a huge, like, I don't really watch their type of content, right? But it's like, these people did prove her point. Absolutely. 100% proved it. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's just so bad. What is their problem? Because people are slandering them to being a racist. How would you like it, Bex? You know, Butch, Feather. You know, how would you like it if someone, like, you know, the whole community came at your throat and was calling you a racist for something that wasn't? How would you feel? I imagine not too grand, you know, not too grand and great about it. But yeah. Yeah. People had to tell them the harassment campaign will fuck them over if they want to be an artist, showrunner, and animation. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Before going on to the Jake Neutron segment, because there was no other way I feel like I could, like, talk about Jake Neutron, so I just decided to talk about it when I was already talking about Digital Circus community. I want to kind of look at this video. Because the title kind of just really, gauged my interest. So, I don't know who this creator is. They had a video that popped off. We're going to see if I, you know, get rage baited by it or not. But, addressing racism in indie animation. There's been a lot of discrimination, controversy, racism, and more in Glitch Productions. Amazing Digital Circus fandom. What can we do to make things better without speaking over others? Thank you for the thumbnail at Starboyd. But yeah. Let's see it. Let's see the racism that is cultivated in this, okay? Can't wait.
An informative video made with the goal of letting the indie animation community at large know of all that's gone on in the past week or so, as well as trying to encourage people to talk on a platform that is not being upheld by an algorithm that quite literally promotes and rewards hatred and fighting in a community that rejects that. I do not want to make a habit of making videos like this, as I never want to be a channel that leverages conflict for a quick buck, so
Dude, fuck off. Okay, so we're already starting with moral posturing. Oh, dude, that's the classic I didn't want to make this video. If you don't want to make this video, here's an idea. Don't make it.
For those of you anticipating my next standard video, don't worry. It's being actively worked on right now by my editor, Subera. This is not a trend. That, alongside the fact that it'd be incredibly distasteful, is why my cartoon Sona is not present here. I put this one together myself. Anyways,
Brother.
There has been a massive uproar, an incredibly deplorable speech, and bad faith actors in the Digital Circus community as of late.
Oh no, it's plain rock.
The situation has snowballed, and more people are getting hurt at all angles, many of whom do not deserve it at all. But before we get to where
You know what? Fuck it, right? While we're also on the topic, let me just look for my Twitter real quick, because I know I talked about this very briefly, but just to give a light recap for those that have missed it, right? Let's talk about Plain Rock for a second, shall we? So, during the whole, like, Michael Kovac and Ashley Nicole situation, yeah, Glitch ended up making a statement disavowing the stunt that was pulled by Plain Rock was recently at the convention, okay?
Yo, it's my nigga! What's up, nigga?
Yeah, and he's clearly saying negative.
My nigga! NEGA! Yeah! Cancel!
It's a dumb troll. Dumb troll.
Consequences! Sorry. Oh my god. Okay, nice seeing you. Nice seeing you too.
So yeah, Plain Rock is like pretty much known in the space, not in the digital circus space, but in the YouTube scene as being a known troll, whatever, right? And there was this whole situation where they said, you know, negative, right, short for negative, right? You know, that they said that word here, and this got them removed from the convention. And they said gave Jax a nickname because he's so negative all the time. Okay, clearly playing into it. Then Glitch responded to this. We were made aware of a horrific and hateful behavior from a specific individual around our Glitch booth today, and we have contacted Level Up staff to take action and have them removed and permanently banned. We have also told our staff not to serve him. Others featured in that video or anyone seen exhibiting any behavior that would make members of our community feel unsafe or unwanted. These idiots are not representative of the community and fans, and we want to make any Glitch event as safe as possible for all. We condemn absolutely any hateful, discriminatory, or dumb fuckwit behavior. Be kind to each other, and if you can't then piss off. We don't want you here. Now you say, I understand why Glitch did this. My honest take on this is that Glitch wanted to prove that they weren't racist, right? And I believe Gooseworx responded too, right? No, not yet. I don't have that up here at the ready. But Glitch wanted to be seen as not racist during the hot seat, right? So I feel like they amped the stuff up for Plain Rock to scapegoat him and make an example out of him. Which, whatever. It's whatever. The guy's a troll anyways, right? He wanted a reaction. They gave him a reaction. But I genuinely feel like there is a level of wanting to scapegoat them to not... to try to get the claim off their back. Because they did ban the guy, but then he just wore a face mask and went back in anyways. And like, who could they possibly be talking about? Thinking. But yeah, no, it's like... I genuinely. They didn't say anything racist here. It probably sounded racist. It's pretty obvious as to why, you know, some people would be like, did he just say the word? But it's like, it's dumb, it's stupid. I understand kicking him out, I guess. Because he's just being annoying. He's obviously rage baiting. He did a stunt. It was recorded. It was obviously for a reaction, right? But I still feel like it was a bit overblown. But yeah, this guy was literally VA for Jax for I'm crying. Yeah, he was not even the VA for Jax. Yeah. But it's like so I feel like personally you lose when you take Plain Rock seriously. This guy's a troll, and that's the whole point. Giving him a reaction is exactly what he wanted. But yeah. Going back to this, because that was the horrific evil stuff that happened.
Where we are now, allow me to inform you of where this all began. For transparency's sake, I should also inform you that I am a black content creator. This should not be news to any of you that have followed me before, but I figured I should get that in there as well before I'm put in the hot seat for even speaking on this issue. The voices of Zooble and Jax in the Amazing Digital Circus, who will hereby be referred to by their first names, Ashley and Michael, recently came under fire when a clip resurfaced from some years ago of them making a joke that, by their own admission, was racially insensitive. They read aloud somebody's username that included nega, N-E-G.
Yeah, because they bent the knee. They bent the knee because people were calling it racist, and they 100% were just going to bend the knee just because they thought it would end it quicker, and obviously it didn't. It was stupid, it was dumb. And they were laughing at the absurdity of, like, almost going into the taboo of things. Calling them, like, you know, racist for this is insane.
And proceeded to laugh about how it sounded like a slur. Gooseworx was also in the chat, egging it on. Michael and Ashley soon responded.
That's... Dude, come on.
And as mentioned, they admitted it was insensitive, that it was leveraging racism for a quick laugh, and that it was immature and not okay. They said racism is not okay, and that their communities are not a safe space for bigotry. First and foremost, let's put this into perspective, okay? If this were a transphobic joke, or a joke against, say, paraplegics, of course, the issues we face are not the same, but I ask you, would this be my apology to accept in that situation? No. That's common sense. Second...
What? Dog, what do you mean? only affected parties could have like a take on a situation is such a mind-numbing take. Okay? Because like if we applied that logic to even more extremes, right? Can you imagine if someone like made a pedo joke and it's like, well, only grooming victims can actually like have a take on this, and it's like, no, I think that's actually an insane standard. Or with rape jokes, only rape victims can have a take on it. No, I would also think that that's an insane standard. I don't think most people that do criticize that are actually victims of that or claim to be. Also, thank you for the 2-star sprinter. I just wanted you to meet the goal. Gosh, I guess we'll sing a song at the end of the stream. Ugh. But yeah, no, it's like, I don't agree that only the affected parties can give takes on situations. Because then that goes down some clear rabbit holes of like issues that you're going to have. Because it's like, so what, if people were saying cracker, right? I better not catch you saying cracker's not racist because you're not the affected party. Right? You see how stupid that sounds? See how dumb that sounds? That sounds pretty quite silly, doesn't it? It's like, dog, So yeah, no, I don't agree. Gonna be honest, I don't really find myself agreeing with that. But yeah, anyways, let's keep going. But yeah.
Is every single fan obligated to forgive these people that were clearly old enough to know better? Also no. And I say that as somebody who is, personally, willing to believe that their sense of humor has matured after reading their response and is now open to supporting their career in future, assuming they continue to prove that this maturity has occurred. But not everybody will agree with me. Not everybody will believe the response is sincere, and that is natural. Inevitable even. Please think about that analogy I gave you. The bottom line is that the opinions of black people on this matter should not be spoken over or dismissed, because the situation itself was against us specifically, and those other scenarios.
No, it wasn't! Okay, this is gonna sound insane, but I'm just gonna be honest. Saying that this is a black issue is such a self-insert. Okay? Like, that's a crazy thing to say. Because we're talking about them saying negative. One of the things, right, was Ashley saying a word wrong. Okay? Saying a word wrong that sounded like a slur, and they found it funny because obviously the taboo is that they can't say it. Okay? They didn't just randomly just say, hey, this word sounds like the N-word, so let's say it. No. And they made a joke out of it earlier to make light of, the fuck up. Of, like, Ashley fucking up. This is not, like, an oppression thing. This is not a we hate black people thing. No. No, it's not. That is such a fucking straw-grasping mentality to try to call them, like, racist for that. You were literally trying to make the argument that these people having that predicament happen makes them insane racists, and anyone that disagrees with you, I feel like you realize that you can't argue it logically, so you have to use the thing of, well, only the affected party could speak on it. That's so dumb. That's so fucking dumb. But yeah. I get what he's saying as a black woman, but there's also the fact that even with black people, it's split among them. Yes. But yeah, that's another thing. Dude, this is so dumb to me. This is so dumb. Because with the standard too, right? It does get written off. And I talked about this last time when I talked about this with Michael Kovac and Ashley Nicole's situation from a little bit ago. When you set the standard that only black people can have a take on it, the people who are enforcing that are tokenizing the minority to look like a good person. And then when a black person disagrees with them, then they have a crash out, which proves the claim that they were only tokenizing them to look like a good person. It's dumb. It's really dumb. It's this moral posturing that I don't like. It's dehumanizing, and I don't like that at all. I don't like it. I really don't, dude. What is saltine behavior, Lamel? Dude, I got the saltine behavior right now, bro. Wait, what about people who are mixed? Are they 50% valid or some? As funny as it is to go into hypotheticals, I could tell you right now that they did not think that far.
I gave you, the same would apply that way. I feel like there are a lot of fans out there, especially on Twitter, that feel like they have to have a hot take or needlessly virtue signal by either A, virtuously white knighting and fighting for their favorite digital circus voice actor, or B, viciously attacking them or anybody, non-black and black, who chooses to continue to support them. Saying this out loud feels like I'm explaining 1 + 1 = 2, but that is where we are in the digital circus fan base right now. This is how things have worked since the dawn of civilization. When someone does something they were not supposed to do, especially towards a group of people, the people from that group will individually decide whether or not they want to continue supporting that someone, and inevitably, they will lose some support.
We've been doing this since the dawn of time? No? No? This is pretty recent development when it comes to media. I'm sorry, it's not something that we've been doing since the dawn of time. And even if you're exaggerating, no, like this is a pretty recent mindset when it comes to media and stuff like that. There's a lot of older medias that had a lot of racist jokes and sexist jokes and homophobic jokes. And you know what? We didn't sit there and say, "Oh my God, this is homophobic. Should you let's hear what the gay people think about this." No, we didn't do that. This is a pretty recent development in modern day for having this mentality. This is not something we always did with the show. I could just tell you that right now. Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of support. In this case, as far as I can tell, they are not people who are promoting, encouraging, or engaging with harmful content. So it is similarly valid to continue to follow them. But again, as a black cis guy who is willing to move past this, it is more than valid for some people to not feel comfortable to support them. That takes.
And look, to give this guy a bone, right? If the claim is they don't want to support them because they feel personally affected and emotional about it, then sure, no one's forcing them to watch the show. That has been the thing. If you don't want to watch the show, don't watch the show. It's really not that hard. And I would say that even if a show was being anti-myself, okay? If a show was being anti-white, I mean, fuck. Alright? If I don't like a show because I feel like that they attack the type of, morals and values I like to have, I don't go and bitch about it. If I just don't like it, I don't like it. Okay? It's just a clear disagreement in values I would have with the director, and it's clearly not made for myself. So we just go on our different ways. It's very easy. And you see, that type of mentality would be a fair argument if we were actually talking about something that I would consider racist. Sorry, saying negative is not racist. This is dumb. This is so overblown. This is so fucking stupid. But yeah, no, it's fucking dumb. Yeah. And yes, I would also agree, Rose, to not do mob mentality. Because that would also be dumb. Because mob mentality doesn't really get you anywhere. It only just gets a lot of people mad and they don't even know why they're mad some of the times. But yeah.
Is as valid as mine. Personally, it would be incredibly different for me if they were using slurs outright or supporting supremacist ideology or hell, even making jokes that I feel would cross a line for me. Even if that were 10 years ago, these people are in their 30s, man, and I would have permanently withdrawn from this. But with this situation, that
sure. You know what? That's a fair take to have. It's a fair take to have, but obviously you're recognizing a level of severity here, right? You're seeing that people are getting mad at the word negative when you actually did point out things that would be more fitting for this outrage.
Like any other, should be judged as it is. I am making the choice for myself to believe that Michael and Ashley have grown, and will be watching to see whether or not that is proven by their future behavior. However you choose to feel about it is your own decision. But I especially do not agree with the opinions of the affected being minimized or told that it's not that serious.
Because it is not that. I'm sorry. I'm going to just have to disagree with you. It really is not that serious. Again, we're talking about negative, right? Someone said a word that sounded like a slur. The friend thought that they said a slur, and that's the humor in it. Okay? They didn't say a slur, they read a word wrong, and they made a joke out of that moment. It's not like it got brought up out of nowhere. They made a joke out of that moment. This is dumb.
Because to a lot of us, it is. And by trying to claim that black people don't have the right to be upset, you are initiating what is a very slippery slope. And
you could be upset, I'm just going to disagree with you.
Attracting not so favorable people to capitalize on that shared belief. We'll talk more about the consequences of this later. Want to know something gross too? I've even seen people using screenshots of black people saying it's not that deep and saying, well, look what this black person thinks. As if we're all meant to be some sort of hive mind. That's weird behavior. I'm willing.
Well, that's coming from both sides, right? The hive mind thing. Yeah.
To move past the situation. That doesn't mean my thoughts override the feelings of other black people. In addition, the voice of Kane, Alex Rochon, at first made a pretty minimizing
For a reminder that the creators you parasocially love are just as flawed as everyone else, that means you, so don't put us on pedestals, please, thanks. The higher a pedestal you put us on, the harder it hurts when we fail to meet an expectation and we fall off. We're just people, and we're all trying our best. Like anyone, please remember to extend us the same grace. That's not minimizing the situation. That's saying we're not perfect. Because humans are not perfect. Putting creators and artists on a pedestal just because you like them, it's always a flawed mentality. That's not downplaying, that's just the reality of the situation.
Post himself before he retracted it, and he gave the mature response.
You're right, it was wrong for me to say that. See, and then he bent the knee. He bent the knee. Explaining what you meant by the deleted post, it was super unprofessional and ignorant to say, and the issue like racism. But the issue was not racism. The issue was not racism. You guys are reaching like fucking motherfuckers to make a point. And the person bends a knee. It was wrong of me to say that. Think holding people accountable for their wrongdoings is necessary from here. From there, it's okay to be angry or lose trust, so as long as it veers away from harassment or threats.
He's trying to improve and is not.
I hear you and agree that what I said was insensitive. I'm always trying to do better, but I acknowledge that if I hurt someone, I'm not owed forgiveness. They said an objective reality, man. They said an objective fucking reality, and people still get mad at that. That's why the situation's so dumb to me.
Not owed forgiveness. To me, that shows character, and if it doesn't for you, I respect it, as should anybody else. Nope.
Hey Space, this is the best video about the situation, by the way, because this man was somewhat reasonable. You know what? What I will give this man so far, is that it seems like he's trying to understand both sides. And even though some people call that fence sitting, I could respect that he's trying to understand the perspective of both sides. I'm just going to disagree with the other side a lot. Not because I'm sides cucked, but I just feel like the other side's overblowing it.
Let's address the elephant in the room, Gooseworx, the show's creator. Until literally the moment I'm recording this, and we will talk about that soon, she chose to stay silent about the whole thing. Instead, she thought it was more appropriate to make jokes about Overwatch cum or something.
What if instead of Cold Cassidy, they changed McCree's name to Full Acid and his ass was full of cum? Okay.
This is an example of how not to respond when a massive racial issue is going down in your community. And
again, dude, she said nothing. She said nothing with it because we were so unhinged and dug up a clip from 7 years ago of people saying negative. Oh, the horror. Dude, that's why I can't agree with this. This is dumb, dude.
thousands of people are being harassed, called slurs.
And also, why would she need to respond? The voice actors would have said their responses anyways.
And sometimes even doxed. They take your silence and trolling as encouragement. And wouldn't you know it, her replies have attracted mass amounts of grifters and right-wing commentators that are now straight up LARPing as indie animation fans for the sole purpose of spreading more harmful rhetoric.
I need Gooseworx to start saying some Newgrounds era type shit. It's really to make these losers have panic attacks. Gooseworx needs to say N-word, if only. LARPing as Newgrounds animation fans? What's your basis for that? People could just like the show and just have different beliefs. It's not everyone, like you said, not everyone's a hive mind. But, dude, this is... Bro. What's up, Jonesy Cat? Dude.
And hate speech. See, I do not believe in any way that Goose is some kind of white supremacist. Of course not. That'd be a massive reach on my end. But it is incredibly telling that she is so quick to comment on frivolous nonsense like shipping discourse. But when real harm is being done in the community, this is the response she gives. And this all comes to a head.
Wait, hold on. Ship whatever the fuck you want or don't. Just don't harass each other over made-up relationships between fictional characters. That's fucking stupid. I mean, the harassing could go crazy.
It's nonsense like shipping discourse, but when real harm is being done in the community, this is the response she gives. And this all comes to a head at Level Up Expo, in which another racist grifter squatted down in front of a Jax cutout and straight up calls out a slur. The most heartbreaking...
He didn't say a slur, though. That's the thing. He said negative. Okay, that's a little disingenuous. And saying grifter, I mean, fine. No, actually, no, because he's not pretending to have certain values in order to gain money. So that's also disingenuous. The guy's a troll. Okay, that's just the reality of it. The guy's a troll. And yes, he is trying to, like, clout farm off of it. I could give you that. Grifting, no. No.
Part of this video is that you can see black children walking by in the background that have nothing to do
what
with
the
this.
fuck?
This is the consequence of people en masse claiming that black people have no right to be...
And Plain Rock is not Gooseworx's fault. The person would have done it regardless if Gooseworx left a response or not. This is so dumb.
Upset. This is the consequence when you fail to condemn bad faith actors. Now, not only do these people feel they are welcome, but now there are black fans and even kids who are slowly but surely starting to feel as though this is not a safe space at all. And believe me, if these people continue to flock here, other people of color will start to make that realization as well over time. Is this the kind of community we should strive to foster? I'd hope you all agree that the answer is no. This community should be safe for all of
Are you also going to mention that Gooseworx did actually say that real racism is not acceptable because of that guy? Like I said, that guy got scapegoated for being the racism in the community. So, like, that's an interesting example to try to use to prove the point that it's her fault that, like, harm's happening in the community.
Us. I feel as though the voice cast is making an effort to steer things that way, despite having inevitably lost some people's trust. I should also say that I was very pleased with Glitch's response to this. Because this was very recent, I'll just read out the tweet to you right now. We were made aware of horrific and hateful behavior from a specific. We have also told Dave or all. We piss off. We don't want you here. I appreciated this. They're not calling it a nothing burger. They're not downplaying what was going on.
They over-exaggerated it.
They're acknowledging it for what it is and taking action. This is—
No, they didn't. The guy's a troll, dude. I'm sorry. It was just so horrific and nightmarish.
how you work towards ensuring a safe environment for everybody. And so I hope the community at large will follow by this example. Now, I wish I could say it ended there, but it doesn't. Some of Gooseworx' old tweets have resurfaced, and for the sake of remaining informative, I'm just going to show them to you. There are some dumb jokes about Hitler or whatever. These I don't think show any issue with her character. There are a number of incest jokes that people found, and while I personally would not get around these jokes with a 10-foot pole, I mean, I'm an older brother, I also don't think these are necessarily implying that this is something she's into, or at least I'd hope not. I don't know, I'm reading these as sarcastic. The part where it starts to enter territory that I can't really give her the benefit of the doubt on, at least not instantly. In 2022, she held a poll in which she asked if people make horrible, edgy jokes that you would never think of making in public or around anyone who wouldn't know you're joking. Then when somebody asked if this extended to racism, she gave a very vague response. Granted, she followed up with saying, I never said I make racist jokes, but do what you want. But that's not what she led with. And so to me, that's concerning. Like I mentioned earlier, she didn't—
It's concerning? Everyone makes racist jokes. I'm sorry. Even the most soy cuck that you would find in the streets will make the not racist joke, but make an edgy joke. Sometimes they could have made an edgy joke when they were younger. Everyone does it. Okay? This is stupid posturing.
End up making a tweet today addressing it, disavowing the racists that are claiming to be for her. And while I'm glad that she did respond, it really shouldn't have come after all kinds of troll messages and dumb jokes, which I'm hoping she realizes now. And not to make any accusations, but I would like to just point out the phrasing of genuine racist, hateful things, which kind of ties into those tweets about making horrible, edgy jokes behind closed doors. I don't know. I think
difference between shock value and, racism of like that caliber. Come on.
A formal response would still be incredibly beneficial for everybody. Now, the thing that's really concerning to me, even more so than that, is when after Shadman was arrested, she referenced how she wanted to make a tweet talking about filling the shoes that Shadman left,
which was a clear joke.
Empty. How many of you are familiar with Shadman? He was an explicit artist of Newgrounds origin, mind you, who became infamous, and I really do mean infamous, for creating absolutely heinous illustrations of young, real-world children as young as 7 years old. So I'm—
Obvious joke. Dude, this is like when you just see it like on your timeline of the Epstein memes and people are just like, oh god, like he's so goated, like this is stupid. This is so stupid.
I'm not even going to begin to consider what this joke could possibly imply, or why in the—
What this joke could possibly imply? Dog, it's an edgy joke. Fuck off.
World a woman of her age would possibly think that's an appropriate thing to say, even in jest. To me, that's like vomit-inducing. Again, I don't believe Goose is a white supremacist, and I really would hope that she's not anything else either from the Shadman comment. But it's very clear that her sense of humor is incredibly immature, especially for someone in her early 30s. And truly, the best thing that she can do is come forward and say something. There are some other tweets as well that she made that I won't even begin to get into, because if I did, then we'd be here all day. And you kind of get the point from these ones. A lot of it is in the same vein, so come to your own conclusions. Personally, I will be watching the situation very closely to see how things evolve. Now, believe me, I see the irony in me, a known Smiling Friends fan, taking issue with some of the Gooseworx stuff. Believe me, I am aware of Zach Hadel's history and Oni Plays and everybody in that entire circle. But at the end of the day, Smiling Friends is owned by Warner Brothers. Multi-billion-dollar corporate animation undeniably invites and platforms a lot of people that are much worse than them. And with indie animation, we have the opportunity to cultivate an environment that we can hold to a much higher—
Oh my god, fuck off. You double standard having piece of shit, dude. You're a prick. You're a prick. You're an inconsistent prick. Fuck off with this. This is stupid. This is dumb. Yeah, I might like Smiling Friends and know their edgy past, but that's okay, because they're owned by a multi-billion-dollar company. But indie animation, we need them to be safe spaces. We need them to cater to my likes and interests. No, fuck off, man. Fuck off. Dude. No. This has been like a horrible response, bro. Absolutely horrendous response. But you know what? We gotta still keep trucking it, because that does get like pretty much like all the Gooseworx stuff out of the way, and I am very disappointed in some of the messages and all the tweets and the stuff. But yeah, things were clearly overblown. I'm definitely debating on making a Explosion video, especially after this, to like really just like put it in a very easy, digestible way. But yeah, no, this has been very fucking stupid so far. But yeah. I have a friend constantly making homophobic jokes. Make homophobic jokes against me. As long as I know you know how harmful certain words can actually be and don't minimize the issues, it's fine to joke about it. It's okay for mainstream to get that. Too got that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You just made a whole video just like getting on an indie animation for things that you like from mainstream. This is stupid, dude. This is actually fucking laughable. Like, that's... what a joke of a video, man. But yeah. I do want to talk about something. So, because we covered... you guys may remember, we did cover, Kittensneeze and Jake Neutron. Right? We covered it. It went pretty well. I actually kind of, like, had fun doing a deep dive into these two. To give an update to that, right? Hold on. This is why my more woke pals said this, like Rebecca Sugar, or they only after her because she's trans. Yeah, fair enough. But, so, I want to read this statement. If you guys remember, this guy's first statement was to the allegations of defending a rapist friend, which I made the argument that they're not a rapist friend and there's only secondhand information. It's hard to go off of stuff to even claim the guy is, because all we have is Kittensneeze and Jake Neutron's DMs to even come to a claim like that. However, on top of that, there was also allegations that they drew CP. I talked about this a little bit in my server, but I figured I should give like a public take on it as well, since my server is already public, sure, but this goes to more people. Final statement. I want to readdress what I did in my original statement years ago. A friend of mine was assaulted. Instead of helping or offering support, I was critical and even alluded they were dishonest. I was wrong for this, and deeply regret the things I said to and about them. I've long since apologized and talked this out with them privately. We are friends and remain on good terms. So, I just want to remind, the guy said some chop things, right? And I'm not ever going to, run from that interpretation or see, the sweep or whatever. Because he did say some chop things, right? My argument was the guy was 19, emotionally driven, had two friends come to him about their own situation with each other, and he was deeply trying to find out what actually happened. And his interpretation was that Logan was violated multiple times, and that she was the one that violated him multiple times, and what he knew is that Logan fingered her without, allegedly without her consent. I have no idea what actually happened, because the victim didn't even really want to come out herself. She was apparently pressured by Kittensneeze to come out, because this is back in 2021, when it was used as an attack against Jake Neutron, and anything and everything would go against Jake Neutron. Right? So, point is, we don't actually have the full story, and we probably never will, because realistically, this is a story from 4 to 5 years ago, where it was in a document and briefly around. Everyone's talked about it, right? Everyone's talked it out. They're good friends now, and they've moved on. Separately and unrelated, an inappropriate drawing I made has resurfaced. When I was 19, I drew an NSFW sketch as a joke of a group of my peers. I hadn't thought much about it, and now reflecting on this from a more mature lens, I understand how immature and inappropriate this was. So, the thing that the original thread maker got wrong was that it was 18. When they turned 18, they did it. Jake themselves said that they were 19. Because, I'm still going to say this, drawing someone's OC is not CP. Alright, you're watering down the term CP. It's otherwise CSUM or CSAM. It's not exploitative material of a minor, and it's not abusive material of a minor. You're talking about the OC. Could you still say it's inappropriate and, irresponsible and reckless and all these other words? Sure. But to try to frame Jake Neutron as a groomer for this? Wrong. Try to frame him as a guy who drew CP? Incorrect. But no. So, that was dumb. Okay? But yeah. And the Vic probably don't want to talk about it. No, because they've actually been being harassed. But yeah, then we got this paragraph right here. Please know I'm immensely sorry for these actions. I understand how wrong they were. These things are not a reflection of who I am, nor the environment I wish to cultivate. I have learned over the years to be more considerate and respectful. I have grown from this, and will continue to grow and listen. Having addressed these matters, I'm taking a step back away from the internet for a bit. I look forward to see you all again when I return.
For better alternative, don't come back because that would just do more damage than there needs to be.
No. Yeah. Again, this person's not like an awful person for this. They said some bleak stuff, and I feel like people are jumping the gun because they are mad at Jake Neutron for being defensive of their friend Kittensneeze and saying that Kittensneeze has changed. Now, the problem with this is they're saying that to a community that is so stupid, so sub-IQ, that they don't even understand what change and redemption actually is, and treat the 24-year-old Kittensneeze like she's still a 17-year-old. So yes, actual issue they have. But yeah, will I say that the apology was good or bad? I mean, it's whatever, it's dumb. The first one that they made, I would say it was poor and missed some things. If Jake was going to make a final statement, I personally would have opted for that he would take all the screenshots he's being pressed for and explain the things head on. Do it once and move on. Not white text, white background with black text on the screen. That will never guarantee anything. That's dumb. Gets you nowhere. But yeah. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you want me to watch... So, I do have one last thing here. We could watch a video where someone accuses Jake Neutron of drawing CP. I think that this video is pretty bad on covering Jake Neutron, and I think that I would definitely have some issues for it. Would you want me to watch this, or are you guys wanting it to be done? Because this would be the last topic if we did. Didn't Jake let us go? Didn't Jake got let go from the projects he's won? What? I don't know what you're talking about, actually. But yeah. Also, if you guys haven't already, remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel a lot. It's great. I do appreciate it when you do help. And if you become a member, you can have access to stickers and watch gaming streams after they're done. But yeah. OMG, I saw that. Yeah, because I do disagree with this video. Like, wholeheartedly, I feel like it in a lot of areas. And we've already went over the situation. So you guys would definitely have context to this. Like, we could definitely watch this guy who, for some reason, just has, like, some weird body pillow of, like, a FNAF character in the background. Cover this situation if you guys are interesting. Yeah. But... Ugh. But yeah, no, this is the tedious thing. Jake Neutron and Kittensneeze, I feel like are cases where, like, there should be, like, room for growth and change, considering this was 4 to 5 years ago. Things have already been resolved. There has been obvious evidence of change, and we've moved on. But yeah, for this to still be relitigated is just, yeah. Didn't this video accuse him of grooming and abuse? I think so. He also says that Black Griffin's a groomer in here as an offhand comment, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. But yeah. You know what, actually, there's a good way to do this. I'm just gonna make a poll. Do I watch the Bad Jake video? Start poll. I'll just interact with you guys for a little bit. Da, 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 da. You know what? You guys have been pretty good. I'll give you guys some free memberships. You guys have been good little guppies. Alright. Welcome Hibiscus, welcome our alt Typhlosion, Jane Denial, Coyote, Hectelitus. Yeah, welcome. Dude. This is fucked up. But yeah, no. I don't think this response is very good. And it's bleak. Dude. Base space? Real. Damn it. Aw, dude, you got you got merch. You got merch, Nobby. But yeah, now that you're part of the memberships, you guys can, like, watch gaming streams after they're done and have access to live stream emojis. Yeah, there's like an overwhelming yes. Jake is incapable of defending himself. True. That is one thing I'll give to people. But let's get mad real quick, guys, okay? Let's get enraged. And then I'll sing a song to close off the stream. But yeah, let's get furious, fellas. Okay, let's do this.
If you've been on social media lately, you've definitely heard this song. Well, today I want to talk about the person who made this song, Jake Neutron. So a lot of stuff came out about him, and his response wasn't great, and I want to talk about it. If you aren't aware who Jake Neutron is, you're aware of Jake Neutron. At least if you are a fan of The Amazing
Jack's
Digital Circus,
Toy?
Friday Night Funkin', Amanda the Adventurer, and if you're a fan of any type of internet thing, you've heard of Jake Neutron. Now, I personally didn't actually know who Jake Neutron was. All I knew was his music, so I consider him to be one of the content creators who you don't know who they are, but you know who they are. So I'm gonna go through Jake Neutron a little bit before I get into the serious stuff, just in case you have no idea who he is. Jake Neutron is a YouTuber, animator, and musician known for his variety of content. He is mostly known for his music. Let me just show you what his first...
Dude, this guy's not even mentioning Jack's Toy, bro. What the fuck?
His first video is... Why does it... What? No, no, what the hell, bro?
Okay, so... This guy already, I'm just taking notes right here, right? We're getting into a situation. And to prove this guy's, like, internet footprint, like, to assert this guy's internet digital footprint, he goes on fucking Wikitubia. Very fucking reliable. Good stuff. Good stuff. Already starting off with poor research.
You gotta be kidding me. Why is the screen fucking free? Alright, his first ever video is Chipette's Single Ladies Shorten. Is there no audio? Is it? Wait, no, that can't be it. This is his first video. Around 2021, where he really blew up in popularity. Due to Friday Night Funkin', he made... I have no room to judge. I have no room to judge.
Yeah, really?
Making Friday Night Funkin' fan songs and mods, as well as making music based off a variety of horror games. Basically, he became a nerdcore artist. With his most popular video being Don't Listen, which is an Amanda the Adventurer song. I never listened to this one. Hold on, I'm gonna listen to this. I'm gonna listen to this song real quick.
Hey, Space, the worst part is that the only way for Jake to defend himself is he posted every screenshot of the victims to force to come out. Just a little bit.
Maybe this one's good. I did not like that. Screen didn't even fucking record. What the hell? Why is my screen freezing? My computer does not want me to talk about Jake Neutron. I don't get why. But recently, his most popular song was Jack's Toy. So I want to talk about Jack's Toy real quick, because I do not like this song. At all. I don't
Really?
get how anyone can glaze this song and think it's good. Like, objectively, I'm not the guy you should go to criticize
He's not gonna stop
music,
playing the
right?
clip.
My most listened to song of 2024 was a fucking Has-Been Hotel fan song by Black Ryphon, the guy who groomed his wife, right?
Again, offhand comment here, right? So his favorite song was from Black Griffin. He pronounced that wrong. But then he says that he groomed his wife. These allegations are false. This guy just did not do his research at all. This guy just did not do any basic levels of research. Yeah, we asked for that. Yeah, you did. You did ask for this. You quite literally did. But no, this is so stupid, bro. He just like throws that in there. It's so dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's fucking dumb. But yeah.
I have no room to judge, right? But I do not like Jack's Toy. But recently, stuff came out against Jake Neutron, which is really bad, and his response wasn't great. Now, first, I need to talk about what happened in 2021, because in 2021, content creator kittensneeze, who has their own separate controversy, they drew themselves as a Nazi when they were 13. I don't get why they did that, but they did that. Basically,
Well, if you did any research, it's because they were inspired off of Helsing and didn't actually know the historical context of Nazis and just saw it as Helsing as like a villain that looked cool, like how you would in any other media look at a villain that looks cool. So they drew themselves in the OC of the villain that they thought they looked cool. They didn't know the historical context or that there was historical context. That's the answer. 5 minutes of research.
Sneeze accused Jake Neutron of being a groomer as well as abusive. But in 2024, she retracted these statements, stating she was misled by her own trauma and mental health struggles, in which Jake Neutron publicly forgave her, and then they did collaborations with each other, and people weren't happy about that because Kittensneeze drew herself as a Nazi when she was 13. I don't get why she did that. Why'd you do that? But
Again, 5 minutes of research, you would have the answer I provided you. Like... It's actually pretty simple, dude. It's pretty shrimple.
Basically, this started when Discord messages leaked between Jake Neutron and kittensneeze. The leaked screenshot shows Jake Neutron and kittensneeze defending a rapist. This is exactly what Jake Neutron and kittensneeze said. I'm just gonna read this to you. I feel gross in saying this, but all Blank got was fingered. But she wasn't used. Logan was. Her boundaries were pushed once. His were pushed all the time. This isn't a contest of who hurt who worse, but from an outside looking in, Blank is the monster in this situation. Anyways, that's all the rambling I'm going to do on this. I'm just emotional. Sorry I, spammed your phone. Just know that, if this were to somehow ever come back up, it would be hard to fight for the truth.
Yes, it was in the kitten
I
doc.
don't think it will happen, but that's just me being paranoid. I can imagine Blank wanting to. Yeah, she also scares me. That I don't know those people and their level of judgment. I'm afraid of them somehow hyping her into something drastic. But at the same time, I don't see Blank letting them cause that drastic thing. Would take a lot of effort. I know she's been too lazy/anxious to do in the past. And then kittensneeze said, yeah, and I doubt she wants this to be public. And then Jake Neutron says, I just hate that if she were to do this, it will be stuck to our careers forever. And
which again, I acknowledge he says some pretty chopped things in there. Calling it a rape apologist? No. I think that's extremely disingenuous.
then more stuff came out about it where he drew CP.
And he doesn't even give a take on it. So he does this too, right? He's doing the very lazy slop thing, where it's like, he's just reading through it and let the audience come to their own conclusion. Doesn't give a take. But so far, he's called Black Griffin a groomer and pretended like it's impossible to know why kittensneeze would have drawn a Nazi OC at 13, because he just couldn't do 5 minutes of research. This video fucking sucks so far. But he's going to glaze this person's thread and not really give much of a take.
Trigger warning: censored NSFW art of minors by Jake. Jake Neutron drew both the victim and kittensneeze when they were minors, allegedly as young as 15 years old. When Kitten came out about it, she was villainized for speaking out. This explains Jake and Kin's dynamic super clearly. And this all came out because of this tweet here.
That the people that have worked with this guy decide to cut ties with him. They probably won't
Sonic Hero clip.
Not knowing, and I do not expect a response to be made. And it gets worse. What the fuck? You downplay rape and you made porn of this person when they were like 17? That's fucking weird. Can't wait for this to never be addressed so I can sit here and wonder if these allegations are real or not.
And then there's this
No take on that. Just no take on that. Just timeline,
tweet
guys.
that provides more context for the initial grooming allegations that kittensneeze brought against Jake Neutron in 2021. I'm just going to read this entire thread for you. A lot of people are acting like kittensneeze maliciously fabricated Jake being a groomer and then backpedaled once caught. But after reading the full screenshots, the situation looks a lot more nuanced than that thread. Screenshots show Kin being pressured by an entire group chat at once while actively trying.
You know what? I'm just going to say this right now. Super Mando Live, okay? Not only will I obviously challenge you on this if you ever, accept, sure. I could challenge a conversation with this. But you know what? I'm also going to say this. So guys, I'm going to do this right now. For every one of these screenshots he reads, I will take a shot. Let's see how many shots I take.
To amend and clarify her statements in real time. She reportedly says she would amend/remove posts. She would correct wording publicly. Kittensneeze wasn't refusing accountability. The conversation starts as please correct misinformation, but quickly shifts into you are not allowed to discuss his harmful behavior at all. Kittensneeze kept trying to say I used the wrong terminology, but I still feel traumatized by what happened. The screenshots show Kitten being dogpiled by an entire group chat at once.
You can see why I did that, right?
People felt unsafe with her there and pressured into giving extremely
I'm gonna get so drunk, guys.
apologies. Kitten backpedaling was absolutely done out of pressure from a massive group. The hardest part to digest, in my opinion, is how quickly empathy failed. Kittensneeze messages getting death threats, doxing threats, losing friends to opportunities, and colleges being contacted. And the group chat responds with, I can't see you as a victim, / my empathy is drained. The chat continues to interrogate her and get her to find details regarding the situation, even though Jake defended a rapist and also drew porn of real minors against their will. How Kittensneeze handled it was messy and explosive, but it made sense from a traumatized teenager. The chat continues to pressure Kittensneeze, making fun of.
So, as you can see, I'm getting so drunk from all these screenshots he's totally reading. No, so the point is, this guy doesn't read a fucking single screenshot. So even when he could do the research when the fucking thing is being spoon-fed to him right now, he's deciding to just go with this person's interpretation of these screenshots instead of actually reading the context. This guy is just horrendous with the research today.
her situation, bully her about holding Jake Neutron accountable, multiple people against one person demanding explanations and demanding she correct her statements about Jake. Kittensneeze finally tucks tail and submits to everyone in the group chat, pressuring her and dogpiling her to say Jake did not groom anyone, while Jake did expose minors to NSFW, draw NSFW of minors, and defended a rapist of a minor. So I think grooming was the correct word. These screenshots are major. The entire group chat is continuing on telling her what to do, how to achieving your posts about Jake's predatory behavior was a good move, etc. There's very clear evidence here that Kittensneeze was dogpiled to remove what she said about Jake. Group chat tells Kittensneeze, a victim of grooming herself / younger person in this situation, that it makes it harder for real victims to come forward because she herself spoke about Jake having inappropriate contact with minors. More of the group chat fully pressuring her to post it on all of her platforms that Jake isn't predatory when he clearly was, nitpicking every part of her beware and the hashtags used, even after Kitten states she's been getting threatened. In a final effort, Kittensneeze shows there are multiple definitions of grooming. The group chat mocks her with a clown reaction / acceptance.
You know why it's mockable? Just to actually give a take because this guy won't. Because it's a 1-year age gap, and the document was blaming Kittensneeze as being a fan on Jake. Okay? This is dumb. Jake was 18, Kittensneeze was 17. Like we talked about with the last stream, just because someone's a fan of you doesn't mean that the person can fucking read your mind. There's no evidence of Jake abusing his platform to get Kittensneeze to do anything. Just because Kittensneeze volunteered to do more things for Jake, right, doesn't necessarily mean that's on Jake. He didn't abuse that, there's no evidence of that, and they're just saying because there's an existence of that means that he's a groomer. It's stupid. It's a really fucking dumb argument.
They vote to have her removed from the space that she was trying to have Jake Neutron held accountable in. This is why Kitten hasn't spoken up in years. Now, this is a lot of stuff, right? A lot of really damning and gross stuff. And you're probably wondering, how exactly did Jake Neutron address this?
So, no take on this. Like I said, that he was not going to give. This guy's doing this very lazily. This guy's not doing any research. And this guy's like just trying to get something out there. It's really fucking stupid. I really don't like this community at all.
Well, it wasn't great. I should just read you what it says. 1.6 million views, 1.3 thousand likes, only some accounts can reply, and the quote tweets have more likes than the original tweet. Not received well, and I understand why. I'll just read it for you. I want to start by apologizing for taking so long to make a statement. I want to be sure I properly spoke to and consulted affected parties, such as the victim, and think through how to address this. I am aware that old cut screenshots of me discussing an assault callously have been circulating. This has caused a lot of concern about how I view things like rape and sexual assault, and I needed to clear the air on that. Those screenshots are from a conversation when I was 19. A friend had very recently been sexually assaulted, and both parties involved were still trying to figure out how to explain what happened. Me and a friend had been trying to understand it all, and on rather it was to be labeled as rape or sexual assault. Google and some older adults gave us conflicting and sometimes incorrect answers on this, but ultimately I came to understand how incorrect and insensitive our conclusions were, and how we shouldn't have been speculating on the details so much when our friend needed complete and total support. I have long since apologized and discussed this with the victim, and we've remained friends for years since. They have my unconditional love and support, and I'm glad they are in a much safer place now. I shall apologize once more for the heinous words and actions, and to anyone who was disturbed and felt unsafe reading them. I'd also encourage people to stop seeking out the victim and harass them, as they have been getting harassed and threatened since the discussion started circulating. I apologize once more for the stress and concern brought to people close to me as well. Anyway, let's read.
So, I want to ask you guys something. Do you think that this guy will give a take on what he just read? You know, the thing that he's supposed to do? Or do you think he's going to refer to the replies as the audience's feelings of this? Well, lock in your answers and see what happens.
I apologize once more for the stress and concern brought to people close to me as well. Anyway, let's read through some of these responses. You were calling the rape victim a monster, and how if the victim came out publicly it would stain your career. Jake Dance, if you're a rape apologist and are friends with a Nazi. Knows how he's intentionally vague about what the conversation was about, because he doesn't want people finding out that he called a rape victim a monster at the grown age of 19. You actually don't deserve a platform, and your Nazi friend doesn't either. I was 19, you were a fucking adult, buddy, don't get a pass. Yeah, as you can see, was not received well at all. And that
No take. No take. See, genuinely just fucking no take. There's actually like a level of nuance you should have when going into this, and he's just not, no one's having it. It's so stupid. This guy just acted like he just didn't understand because you could do research, just basically threw in the fact that Kittensneeze had a Nazi OC. not combating the Nazi claims, just called Black Griffin a groomer falsely, was completely fine with saying that Jake Neutron drew CP, considering he did it in the thumbnail. Literally, he's going bar for bar on these life-ruining allegations, and for what? For what? Was it worth it? Was it worth shredding any bit of credibility that you have for the 338,000 views on this video? Was it worth it? I mean, I hope it was. Because if not, then that would be tragic. But yeah, let's keep going.
That's where all this stands. He didn't do a good job addressing it. As a matter of fact, he only addressed one part of everything that he's being accused of.
And you didn't address anything you went over, you dumb fuck. Dude.
Was super vague about that one specific thing. So it's bad. I'm glad people on Twitter are calling him out, but the issue is that on other platforms, people aren't really talking about this. I mean, obviously some people are, but as a whole, this isn't as big of a deal as I feel like it should be on other platforms, especially on YouTube. He's massive on YouTube, but no one's talking about it. And I'm worried just people are going to move on from this and just everything about this is going to be ignored.
So I wanted to take all these allegations without knowing what the fuck I'm talking about and throw a huge ball of slander his way.
I don't know, that's how I personally feel. Hopefully that's not how it comes out and people actually hold him accountable. But yeah, that's been Jake Neutron. Not a good dude. Get your Jack's toy, get a little laugh, boy.
So yeah, he just slandered the fuck out of this person. Yeah, this video sucked. This video absolutely sucked. I'm not even gonna lie. So yeah, you guys are welcome for that one, I suppose. But yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna do this because it's literally just been stuck in my fucking head. There's gotta be a karaoke to this, please. Pretty please? There's gotta be a karaoke, pretty please. Oh, there is. Probably shouldn't be this fast, but yeah. Let's do the karaoke, and then I'll just raid into Himbleton or something. Here lies Charlie. You could tell it's him, because we put his name on the stone. He kept his out. Fuck. Sorry. I fumbled it. I coughed. You can tell it's him, because we put his name on the stone. He kept his showers ice cold, used eco-friendly light bulbs, rode his bicycle to work when the gasoline price rose. He'd judge with no pretense, fish on the weekends, each morning get up, do the Pledge of Allegiance, never swim in the ocean for fear of shark attacks, by monthly get his wife a rose with a card attached, avoiding all the little things that were hard to ask. Had a car crash, cardiac arrest, died of a heart attack, a golden escalator, all his friends and neighbors huddled there in prayer around the respirator. Catch you later, I'm off to see the man upstairs. They all look like ants from here, stars and chandeliers. There was an angel at the entrance, checking off a guest list. Charlie wasn't on it and was unsure about the exit. His heart sank, he was breathless. Excuse me, sir, there must be someone you confuse me for. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform, I'd go to church on Sunday, truly use them all, screaming at the angels while they pushed him through the door. Excuse me, sir, there must be someone you confuse me for. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform, I'd go to church on Sunday, truly use them all, screaming at the angels while they pushed him through the door. Abandon all hope, all ye who enter. It was a horrifying sign, but sounded like a neat adventure. Far beyond the halos and the castle in the clouds, fats are squealing shackled with some apples in their mouths. Attention whores and padded bras are hanging from extension cords, all torture with the products from their favorite catalogs. Here we buy and sell a million kinds of hell. Imagination is the limit, up to the devil's clientele. Up
a dingy elevator, not televised debate will save you. Say from you hell if you pay for sorry but I smell you later. Sidestep fate, went right for the gate. But you know the devil, he loved a good chase. There was a demon at the entrance, making X's on the checklist. We would kick you in the ass when you begged him for repentance. Was tempted by the senses with cruelest of intentions. Charlie's heart sank, he was breathless. Excuse me, sir, there must be someone you've confused me for. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform, I don't belong here. I know you've heard this tune before. Screaming at the demons while they pushed him through the door. Excuse me, sir, there must be someone you've confused me for. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform, I really don't belong here. I know you've heard this tune before. Screaming at the demons while they pushed him through the door. You can run from your demons until you are exhausted. One day you'll have to stop and find out what they really wanted. And run from those demons until they are exhausted. You can run to those angels until you are exhausted. One day you will have to stop and question what they wanted. Keep on running from those angels until you are exhausted. Excuse me, sir, there must be someone you've confused me for. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform, I really don't belong here. I know you've heard this tune before. Excuse me, sir, there must be someone you've confused me for. If I could see someone who knew me or someone in uniform, I really don't belong here. I know you've heard this tune before. Dude, that was bad. That was bad. That was horrible. Yeah, that was LARP space. Ace LARP? Nabi, if you have art, just post it in the server. Dude, that was bad. I should have practiced that song a little bit more. I fumbled some parts. I just kind of was confident, and then I just realized I shouldn't have been. Oh my gosh, you actually... Okay, you know what? Okay. This is literally going to become... This is going to become my new PFP. Okay. So, Nabi made this great art, guys. Great timing. Great timing. Great fucking timing. Amazing. Did your best IMO? It was jazzy. Someone use that as an edit. Do not use it in an edit. Do not use it in an edit. Dude, this is great. This is peak. This is actually peak. Good job, Nabi, as always. As always, you did great. You did great. This is amazing. This is peak. You did awesome. You did amazing. But yeah. Fuck. But yeah. Alright, guys. I'm gonna give you guys to Hippleton. Behave yourselves, okay? Behave. Be nice. Don't be evil. Okay? Don't tell him I sang that song. Because it's been stuck in his head, too. Alright. Alright. You guys have a wonderful night. See you all later.